Yo, what's going on? How you guys doing? I'm speaking to a very shallow audience right now, so I'm talking to y'all out there. What'd you say, Josh? I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. So today has been a very interesting day for a lot of us, but we here, and it's gonna be a fucking dope ass class. We got a lot to cover. We got some skill work to do. This is the last couple of times we're going to be talking about the 15 Commitments book. So we're wrapping this book up. So probably by the next class, we're going to wrap this book up and we're going to be moving on to the next book. So if you haven't finished it up already, finish it. And we're going to go over some bangers today. And hopefully later on, Nana gonna come and wrap it up and finish him up. So let's get started. There's no Shabisha today, so you're gonna hear a deeper voice over there from the reading tonight. Mic ain't even on. There you go. Go ahead, do it one more time.
Hey, yo, it's your boy.
Wow. All right, let's get started. Title's called Clarity, Hope Academy. We in this thing. Let's get it rocking. Keyboard's not working? Technical difficulties.
Go all the way to the. Oh yeah, because Scott didn't.
Oh, my bad. You're supposed to.
There you go. So let's recap.
Thank you.
Last week we talked about integrity, how important integrity is to you, your values, your business, how you progress, how you grow. There's some controversial things to talk about with that, but there's some things that I believe is true about the body. So here's an example. You know how psychologists and psychiatrists can get pretty close to reading if somebody's lying to you. Why? Why is that? Does anybody know how they can tell, for the most part, when somebody is lying by observation? Body language. Body language. So, Ace says body language. What do you have any ideas around the body language?
Eye contact, way that your body may move, postures, if it's open or closed, things like that. So, and sometimes details like tapping your fingers, moving your feet, and so just little twitches or anything that's not what you were doing previously before I asked the question may signify that what you're saying right now isn't as truthful, or may have something, behind it.
Yes, okay, good answer. Now, does anybody know why that happens to your body? What's up, brother? Does anybody know why that happens to your body? We're sitting here talking about body language and how some scientists or psychologists can tell when somebody's lying to them.
I'm going to say it's the law of affect. It's that emotion and the emotional parts that are in your brain that are tied to your neurons and your nerves is stronger than your actual executive function.
Okay, break that down for us, ESL people.
Basically, like your subconscious is stronger than your conscious mind. So even if you're lying, you're emitting signals that kind of might tell that you're lying. But I don't know, because people lie to themselves to lie to others. So maybe you believe your own lies. So
okay, that's close. Here's an interesting thing. your body, not just your mind, everything in you, your nervous system, your body, your mind, your spirit, it needs truth. It needs truth. Your body, your mind, and your spirit, in order for it to operate, it has to operate in truth. There can't be anything in your body that's untrue, or else you die. Even if it's slightly off inside of you. Say your blood pressure is just slightly off, and your nervous system and the insides of you that keeps track of everything. If your blood pressure is off by just a little bit, you can die. If your brain is saying blood is flowing to your foot, but blood is not flowing to your foot, you can lose your foot. If your eyes are saying that's a lion, but your brain is telling you that that's a teddy bear, you could die. If your ears are hearing, how are you doing today? But really what was said was, I'm about to kill you, you could die. So every fiber in your body has to rely on truth from the outside world. So when you're lying, your nervous system and your body has a fit. It goes crazy. It sets off alarms. It's doing things to say, no, this isn't right. No, this isn't true. That's why you do unconscious, subconscious things that you don't realize when you're lying. Because your body literally can't take it. It has to get stuff out. That's why you scratch. Sometimes you scratch, or you look away, or you rub on something, or you rub your knee, or you start tapping, or you start doing shit because your body literally is rejecting what you're saying. You're literally rejecting your lies, but some people get so good at suppressing that to the average person they can't tell. But on the inside, fucking your body's having an attack. Can you train your subconscious and train yourself to lie so good that it goes almost undetectable, even to a lie detector test? Yeah, of course. But naturally, body don't like that. It can't handle it. It gets weaker. It's resisted. It resists. Your voice, the average person voice cracks. You look up into different places in your mind. There's a lot that happens with your body. So imagine if you move in a space with lack of integrity, you're a weaker version of yourself off top. Off top, you're a weaker version of yourself. That's why lying should not be an option to you. For the most part of who you are, everybody fucking lies. Be a liar if I said nobody lies. But for the most part, just for your own personal strength and integrity, you got to take that out of your movement and your behavior, because you will gain strength just as a human being when you become more integral. That's what integrity is. You're integral. Now your body, everything is integrated and it's moving in sync. And that forms something called congruence. When you're congruent with yourself, you're more powerful than you are normally. This goes deeper. It goes way deeper than just, hey, sir, you dropped the money. It goes way deeper than that. It's you literally are a more powerful version of yourself just on that strength of having integrity. People can feel it. They can read it. It's an energy about you. They trust you. It's almost like a deer that sleeps under a tree. They know it's solid, and and the world responds to you differently. Like, you ever been around a bullshitter? The sleaziness of them just oozes out. It oozes out. You could, like, this motherfucker, like, I don't believe nothing that comes out your mouth. I don't believe nothing you say. Now, and so that even affects the times that you tell the truth. Nope, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. So integrity is deep. It's these things that we're talking about, integrity, appreciation, those are super core values. They're core things that you have to lock into who you are in order for you to really progress to that next level. Integrity in business. And it's not integrity when it feels good. It's integrity when it hurts. It's integrity when it don't feel good. It's integrity when you know what you're about to say is going to be crushing, but they're asking for the truth. It's integrity when you can lose a relationship. It's integrity when integrity is so powerful. Hey, integrity is everything. So understand, you can have two people with the same abilities, same powers, same education, same strength, same everything, and one has integrity and one doesn't. This person's going to win the race. Crowd's going to be bigger around this person. Support's going to be bigger around this person. You burning so many bridges on your way to where you going without it. It's hella deeper than basic ass logic that we have currently about topics like that, because that word is such a mass marketed word, but it's real. It's real. We get a lot. Our customer retention rate at our company is high, not because we perfect. That is not for sure, because we make mistakes. We do. Our we'll get customers that come back the next year, even after we fucked some shit up the year before. Why? Because of the integrity. Oh man, I apologize. We did. Here, let me take care of you. Here. Keep that and do that. Back next year. Because that's what integrity does. I can rely on you. I can trust you. I can trust you. Integrity is powerful. Now, appreciation, just as powerful. Appreciation. So you guys remember that loop that happens when you don't practice appreciation. That is your tool that you'll have next to you on your journey as an entrepreneur and your rise to success as an entrepreneur. Without appreciation, you need appreciation on both sides, the sides of failure and the sides of success. Because success without appreciation, you can get to entitlement really quick. And the people around you, you stop appreciating them. And over time, that entitlement turns into dependency. And that dependency is nasty. That's when you get the stories about, oh, that person's changed. Oh, that person is not the same. That person's lost, because the drift between appreciation, expectation, entitlement, and dependency, that drift. Have you ever, maybe you have you ever been around somebody that you've been at the bottom with, and then maybe they hit some success, they hit a hype cycle, and you were just as excited for them as they were. And over time, you saw the success, the lack of appreciation start to drift from them, and you saw how the success started to affect them. To the point where you're like, man, fuck this person. I don't even want to be around this person. It's because that's one of the major reasons, appreciation. Happens in relationships. Happens in relationships. That honeymoon stage, what they talk about, that honeymoon stage is you're in appreciation of that person. And when the honeymoon stage is over, it means the appreciation, you just move to the next step over. Anticipation, then expectation. I had a friend who was married. He used to bring his wife flowers every Friday. Oh my God, flowers. Oh my God, flowers. Oh my God, flowers. After 4 years, if he ever forgot to bring them flowers on Friday, she was livid. Livid. Because it had moved, because once you get to expectation, I know the flowers is coming. You're not even excited no more because you expect it. Well, last time you gave me these kind of flowers. This is the Safeway kind. Like, then you're in an entitlement space, which now is dangerous. It's dangerous. And a lot of us folks of color are caught in that trap with the government and with all these people that we think owe us. Because for lots of years, they created that dependency on them, which is the last stage. So stay in appreciation. You have to manually practice appreciation. Thank you. Man, thank you. This morning when you wake up, what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? What am I grateful for today? Man, what about that makes me feel good? What am I grateful for today? Think about it. Like, anybody have a pseudo rough day today? Hands? Okay, my hand's up too. Everybody have a great day today? Or a fucked up day? Keep it 100. All right. So we have varying degrees of days, right? But let's for a second think together. My day was shitty too. Together, let's play this game. Think about, what are you most grateful for in your life right now? What are we most grateful for? Think about it. What are you most grateful for in your life right now? What are you most grateful for?
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Now, what about that? What about it? What about it makes you feel a type of way? That thing. Somebody, where's the mic at?
You want to turn my mic up? It's a joke. Always wanted to say that. Yeah, so I had one of those pseudo rough days, but it was also a wonderful day. You know, because I see these things and starting to realize that I'm having this tool set to be able to look at these things and think about them, and get clarity about where I'm at now, which way I'm headed, and it feels great. A lot of wonderful things. I mean, I got my son rolling with me this summer. That's amazing.
Bud. Come on,
man.
That's crazy.
I'm talking about everywhere we showing up, man. It's like, yeah,
That's right.
stunting for real.
That's the real stuff. That's a flex.
That's a straight flex. Yeah. So
Yeah.
things are wonderful. So even the craziness of the dishwasher overflowing early in the morning while I'm trying to run up out the door, or these crazy things that people are asking me for today that was just like way over my pay grade. It's like to the oil light coming on the car out of nowhere, and then the dude telling me he think my axle is tripping on my car. It's like, oh man, wonderful day, beautiful day, first world problems as they call them.
Yep. When you practice appreciation, you can get to that quickly. I had that today too. And you know what snapped me out? My daughter, 7-year-old daughter, she texts me, do you have a sweatsuit? Do I have a sweatsuit at your house? That I need one. And then she texts me, I'm sorry to bother you. Like, girl, you never bothering me. Ever bothering me. And so she's just started laughing on the text back and forth. And it made me like appreciate my daughter and think about my daughter and like, Man, none of this shit matters. There's always something you can think about that brings you into appreciation and minimizes all the rest of the bullshit. Because it is first world problems. It is relationship issues. But there's always something. Even this. Who do you love most right now and who loves you back? Who do you love most right now and who loves you back? No matter what you got going on. Here's the other thing. Who walked into this classroom today with their two legs? I work out at 24 Fitness all around because depending on where I'm at. There's a guy there every day, wheelchaired up. He's a G because he's there every day. No legs gone. Working out upper body. And I'm thinking, he motivates me. And it makes me grateful and appreciative that I got legs. We take for granted, we're entitled by so much. We're entitled by so much. If you ever been in a near-death situation or you've been where your life is flashed in front of you, those are great appreciation things, the moments to be appreciative of what you got. Oh, shit, could have been over, but I'm still here. I'm gonna take advantage of every breath I got moving forward. Ask Scott. Yep. Ask Scott. So understand appreciation. You move with that kind of appreciation every day, no matter what happens. It keeps you out of entitlement. Keeps you out of entitlement. And the people around you light up. They're not gray and dead almost. Everybody's still in full color around you because you can appreciate everything, the things around you, your car, everything. Now, any questions on those two before we talk about value and worth? Now, we're going to go back to this topic, value and worth. So this is a very interesting topic that I think is important for us to wrap our heads around a little more. Is that as entrepreneurs, you have to understand and be really, really good at value, understanding value, not worth. Worth is constant. Value goes up and down. That's why value is more of a concentration than worth. So that know your worth shit, that's for civilians. For entrepreneurs, know your value. So how much do you think those Jordans are worth? Well, let's say that. What's the retail value of those Jordans? The retail value. 150? 150? 180?
Yeah, probably 200.
200? Okay. What do you think the the worth of those signed?
Depends on the person who collects it.
The worth is probably the same or even worse.
Same or even worse. Okay, so we're talking worth. Worth means retail value. When you walk into a store, this is how much it's worth. Now, that Michael Jordan signed those shoes, the value of that has just increased, right? Now, and it also depends on the context of where those shoes were signed, what happened to them, where they were. Does anybody want to take a guess how much those shoes sold for?
$2 million.
$2.2 million. $2.2 million. They sold for that. So they're worth 150. 200, and they sold for 2.2. That's the difference between worth and value. So we get given the illustration before on the other flip side of worth and value to say, if you got a $5,000 mink coat on, but you in the middle walking down the strip in Vegas, you don't give a shit about that fucking coat in the middle of July. You burning up. So the worth of that coat is still the same, but the value now, I can give you a bottle of water for that jacket, and you might take it depending on how hot you are and how dehydrated you are. That's that flip side of worth and value. But it works the opposite way too. That something could be worth something in one person's hands, and it can be worth 40 times more in another person's hands. So if I hold a tennis racket and I sign the bottom of it, and the worth of it from Walmart is $19.99, now that I signed it, it's probably worth $9.99. Because what do I got to do with tennis? Nothing. But if Serena Williams held that same racket and signed the bottom of it, it's not worth that. It's worth thousands, maybe tens of thousands of dollars from that point forward. So you can change value based on your energy. That's the dope part about being an entrepreneur. You can change value based on your energy. Worth is what it is. I don't give a shit. I don't even think about worth. What's the value in the moment? What's the value long term? A smart person can look at something and 1,000 people can see worth, and an entrepreneur can see value. I'll buy that. I'll take it. I'll take it. And resell it. So it's important for you to understand value versus worth. Your energy. So we call it the alloy effect. What the alloy effect is when you combine energies. So if you take iron plus another chemical, it makes steel. And steel is much stronger because of the alloy effect. So same with value revisited. The 2 generations younger than us, right? We started this sneaker shit, right? 80s, 90s, we started it. But our kids, they've taken it to a whole nother level that we don't even understand. So we talk shit about it, but they've built an ecosystem and a business model out of it that orchestrates and understands value over worth. So they don't even give a shit about, they'll buy up whatever the worth is. Oh, it shows up on the site, it's 180, it's gone immediately because they know what the value is going to be based on demand, based on who wore it, who rocks it, how fast it's sold out, what rappers are wearing it, all the stuff that we don't calculate because our brains don't think like that. And then we'll go on my son will tell me, those are $2,200. I'm like, those hella ugly. No, but little somebody wore it on some other day, and then it showed up here, and now it's worth this much. So we're thinking that they're wasting money on this bullshit shoes and taking what we did too far, but in actuality, it can be a business for some based on value. So play the value game. Play the value game. The value game in your business. Remember the illustration about if you're vacationing in Mexico and you're laid up on the beach, which you got your towel out, sunglasses, but you're a little thirsty, and you're looking around and you want something to drink, right? And so maybe you see who was that? What do you call that? The chicleta guy with the little cart with the bell on it walking by, huh? Paleta. And you're like, yo, come over here. You got stickers on it. Some of the stickers are peeled off. It's but you don't care. Rolls up to you, opens his thing. Got ice cold beer in there, Coronas. You know the Coronas, what they look like. Man, give me one of those Coronas. How much are you thinking in your mind you pay for that? How much? $3? $5? All right. Cool. $5, walks away. Now, if you erase that in your mind, there is no paleta guy. Doing the same thing, eyes closed, sunglasses on, in the sun, got your towel down, but you're thirsty. You look around. You look to your right behind you, and it's a big-ass Ritz-Carlton. Gorgeous Ritz-Carlton. And there's a waiter standing in front of it, tuxedoed out. Got the tray with the metal cover over it, and you call him over and you say, hey, I want a Corona. No problem. He says in an English accent, get it right for you. Comes back with the Corona, lifts it up. The Corona has a lemon on it, and there's fizzes inside the thing. And the presentation, he has a white gloves on. How much would you pay for that Corona? $25. See the difference between worth and value? It could change in that moment based on presentation, based on priming. So entrepreneurs play the value game. Who determines the value? You or your customers? Any guesses? Customers. You can't determine your value. You want to prime it. You can have a target of what you want it to be, and you can do all the marketing and branding work to get people to there. It's like playing an inception game and hoping that what you want and what they say lines up. And the only way to know is you got to play with the market.
Do you think exception to the rule though is if you have a monopoly, like a closed market? So like, let's say you go to the Oracle, you see a show, you're in the VIP section, you go to buy water. It's the only water there, but this is $20. How does the customer fight that? It's the only option of water.
True. That's a monopoly. That's a monopoly. If somebody has a rare disease and there's no medicine for it, and I invent the medicine, I can charge $6,200 a pill. What you gonna say? What you gonna do? Nothing. You gotta buy it. That's playing a different game. It's playing a monopoly game, which people do play. That's why you go to fucking Disneyland with your kid and you can spend G's. You can spend G's, right? But in free markets, free and open markets where there's competition, you play the value game. Not most of us don't have the luxury of having monopolies. Most of us, if not all of us, have to play the value game. That is, how can I make this customer feel and believe that we have a superior product and they are willing to pay? Now, here's a caveat of this value game. You do not want to be a low price leader because you're being lazy. What's everybody charging? I'm going to charge cheaper than that. That's the lazy version. And what it is you may get in, but you're racing to the bottom. As a business person, you're racing to the bottom. And so you're probably more than likely racing yourself out of business. When you play the value game, it can be people coming up under you playing that game, but you raised your value so high and you branded and primed so well that they don't want to go down there. They don't want to go down there. They rather, so that when the tuxedo guy and the paleta guy comes at the same time, because people want to Instagram and show the world that they ballin', they're going to grab the tuxedo guy for the experience and to let the world know living my best life. I'm at the Ritz-Carlton, y'all. See, you ain't at the Ritz-Carlton. Your towel just happens to be close to it. But because Tuxedo Guy came, you got the whole view. So you'll be willing to pay that $25 for that experience every time. And the low price leaders don't understand it. Like, y'all are stupid. I can give it to you for cheaper. Oh, yeah, no, I don't care. I want that. You understand? I mean, yes, I used to sneak fucking candy and stuff in the movie theaters when I was younger. I looked like Fat Albert walking in that motherfucker. Because I don't want to pay them monopolized prices. So, but that's a monopoly. It's a beautiful thing once you understand it. It takes a mind shift. It takes a mind shift. Ask 510 Media. 510 Media plays the value game, not the worth game. What is it worth to take some pictures of a person?
How much are they willing to pay?
The value, though, our value that we put out there is this, and this is all you get. This is all the things you get for rocking with us. So whenever a customer balks at your prices, you got to ask yourself the question, why isn't my customer seeing that exchange of value? What is it about my presentation, my product, my service that the customer doesn't see the exchange of value to the point that they think that they're getting more than what they're paying for? That's the question you ask. You selling a t-shirt or whatever your product is, and you put it out in the market, how do you know that the value that you're placing on it is too low? What are some tips? Anybody? What are some clues that the value that you place on your product is too low when you put a product out in the market? Meaning you're not charging enough.
When the client,
That what's the clue that when you're not charging enough?
Right, when the customer's not buying the product, is that
It's the opposite.
when they are buying it, buying it up.
When you sell out, if it's a line down the street, crazy line down the street, you sell out in 2 minutes. That's a clue. Something's not right. You always have to be gauging and testing and expanding and playing with pricing. Like some people celebrate. We sold out in 2 minutes. Entrepreneur says, damn, I could have probably charged $10 more, $15 more, $30 more. And that line is going to shrink up, of course. But that's fine. But you tripled your profit. You 40% of your profit. You're always playing with that. Second clue. Here's a second clue, and it's a dope one. People will come up and tell you, I would have paid $100 for this. I only got 2 left. You would have paid $100 for it? That's when you know the value that your customers see and the value that you see is off, and you need to rise up. I didn't raise my prices lots of times because of that. And I'm like, if one more person tell me that, Corey, I don't think you charging enough. What? Okay.
I run into those conversations whenever I go and get a haircut. And, you know, for those who know me, I'm kind of new to haircuts. Used to have long braids and shit. Looked in the mirror one day, was like, this ain't fly.
He flexing, by the way, because he in his 40s, and he still got a head full of hair. That's a flex. He talking about me flexing 315. That's a flex anyways.
But I go into these places and they're like, oh, yeah, bro, it's $25. I'm like, how the hell are you even in business? It's 2024. People were charging $25 25 years ago. And they're looking at me crazy. Like, I'm like, no, dude, like, you're not charging enough. But I'm going to leave it like that. I said it. This is your customer telling you that I would have been willing to pay you $55 for this haircut, but you charging me $25, and then try to give me a coupon.
Yo, that's low self-value. Low self-value. This is huge. You understand? That's a perfect analogy. It's called low self-value. When you value yourself low, then you're giving away your product way lower than the market is willing to pay. Now, we have an opposite problem a lot of times with businesses where people charge crazy prices over their value. How much is this organic ketchup that you made from tomatoes that you grew yourself at this farmer's market? It's $70. If you don't kick rocks, this is not sustainable. I would never pay $70 for this. I'm sorry. So some people overvalue their products, and they don't have no reasoning to back it up. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. And here's why. But most of the time we're polarized on two opposite sides is because as entrepreneurs, as human beings, most of us don't know the value game. Some people will get upset at you because they're not paying the prices that they want to pay you, and they're willing to pay you more.
I don't know if you believe in this technique, but I'm curious. Are there ever times where you feel like it's worth it to leave money on the table for a long time, or like a long-term client relationship? Does that make sense?
Leave money on the table.
Like, give the client some flex on meeting them at a number when you know that the relationship is going to be long-term and it's going to lead to bigger numbers later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not like you don't ever bring it up and down your value, the value of certain items for relational purposes, or you have a coupon, whatever. It's, you got to know your value, and the customer has to know your value. If those two things don't happen, then you just fucked yourself. Why? Because it's immediate entitlement. So next time they come to you, they're going to say, you gave it to me for that price last time, I want it again this time. Mm-hmm. So when I do that, I make sure on the invoice it shows what their price would have been. You're getting love, right? So if it says $15,000 for this invoice, and I told you off of love, I'm gonna knock off $3,000. It says $15,000 crossed out. Here's a new price, so it reminds you that you got love. So next time you're gonna be tough asking me for that again because you know it's love. It's, oh man, thank you, I appreciate that. There goes appreciation again. If you don't do that and you just give them an invoice with the price, they forget. Everybody forgets. So when the next time to do business rolls around, they're already at dependency. And anything under that $13,000, anything more than that, they'll be mad at you. They'll be angry. Ain't that some cold shit? We humans, man, we some weirdos. It's just true. So that's why you got to know the worth game and the value game. And this helps you in negotiations, knowing the worth and value game. I bought a Tesla about 5 years ago. Top of the line, dope, for the low. Why? Not because it wasn't worth an particular amount, but because the woman I bought it from had just got a divorce from her husband, and it was his Tesla, and she got the car in the divorce, and she couldn't change the name in the little prompt, so she kept seeing his name, and it just she just couldn't stand seeing his name. So the value of that car went to shit in her mind. And it was just uncovering that in a conversation. What's going on? Like, tell me, what's going on? You gotta keep it real with me with this price. What's going on? Tell me, and then I hear the story. Oh, huh. I'll take it from you right now. You'll never have to see that name again, ever. Now I'm just freeing her from her affliction. So I say it's powerful in negotiation. Any questions before we move on? Some dope ass shit though. Silence.
That part about giving them the real price in negotiations, that's clutch, and it was a reminder because I've heard it before, but I feel like this is a reinforcement because we've been dealing with some negotiations where a foundation has a fixed price, and we haven't come down to their fixed, not price, but budget, and so we haven't come down, but we kind of been like, I don't know, and then I've been wrestling with like, okay, so what do you, when you talk about value, what do you walk away from? And, you know, because this is like our value is here. And then what is like, okay, what Scott asked, what's the relationship worth down the road? So that's probably the solution. Take it, but be like, this is the real price, you know.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, absolutely. They have to know. And it has to be reinforced with value added. This is why this costs this much. This is what you get. And this is the security that you get. Here's the thing. What value do you place on security? What value do you place on security? Do you offer products that secure people's computers and what's a rough price on that? Yeah, like say, just to protect the person's computer from potential hacking and cyber attacks and
You know, that's always a tricky one because nobody really understands the value until they get hacked.
that's where I'm going. So that's where I'm going, cuz. So what's your number? Do you have a rough number?
So I charge as a complete service. So it's very hard to segment out that one
included.
particular piece.
It's included.
It's included. So if I say we're doing all of your IT infrastructure, then that's what we're doing, and that security is in it. Every now and then, though, it does help to kind of like remind folks about some of the dangers of not having good security, you know, and those, even though the systems are not hacked, you know, we're using Google's infrastructure. If our clients get hacked, then the whole world is in danger. That means Google got hacked. So we don't play with like Mickey Mouse tools and it's like we're going to try to do this custom little security configuration. We're not going to play that game with our customers. So that's kind of how we communicate that value. If your computer gets hacked, that means probably 90% of the world who also uses Google, they're hacked too. So we're all in it together.
Yeah, so say this $2,000 service that I'm offering you. $2,000? Yeah, but what's the price that you would pay to ensure your safety on the internet? Imagine this. You wake up one morning, you go log on to your Bank of America account, and there's $0 in there. And there's some Nigerian dude that just bought a Benz off of the money that's in your bank account. And you try to log on to everything on your computer and all of your accounts is gone, including your social, including your identity. What's that worth to you? Now is it $2,000 worth it? You go scrape that motherfucking $2,000 up to protect you against that. Sometimes you got to show people the value. You got to paint the picture vividly for them to see it. And then they'll run to your prices. They'll run to it. So yeah, I can get it cheaper at so and so. Yeah, you also get what you pay for too. You get what you pay for too. So yeah, you can go get videography services done cheaper, but it ain't silence. It ain't silence. I didn't got bread off of, you know what I'm saying? Like people get bread off of silence videos. What they get off whoever's. So you get what you pay for. And a lot of times it's hard for people to see. That's why you got to paint the picture for them. In your product, in your services, in your explanation, in your invoicing, in everything you do, you're pushing value. You're showing value. You're spending money on certain things outside of the infrastructure of your company to show value to customers too. I don't promote buying fancy ass cars. I don't promote that. But if you're in a real estate game, there's certain businesses where that's part of your tool set. Certain businesses. If I'm looking for a $1.4 million home or $2 million home, and my real estate agent pulls up in a 1989 Honda Accord, that I don't feel cool, because it makes me feel like she ain't raw at what she does. So when it comes down to negotiation, if it's me and two other potential buyers, we gonna lose. So there's times where you do have to position yourself in ways to where that's a thing. We spend a lot of money on our offices the way it looks, because when customers come in, we want them to feel a certain way. Damn, this is dope. Cool. This is how you guys get down. They ain't even thinking. I didn't even show them the product yet. So that's why when you go on shoots, now I want you to be dressed a certain way. Showing up raggedy and shit. You're a touch point to the customer. I'm sure he's probably had that conversation, because I know how he gets down. You're a touch point to the customer. Anytime you're a touch point to the customer, it's important for you to show up in a way that primes your pricing and your value. This is some cold game. Some cold game. If I still smoke weed, I'd smoke to this right now. All right.
Shit.
Next slide. All right. 15 commitments to conscious leadership. So I'm going to be candid to y'all. I'm going to keep it real. There's a couple elements. I'm going to keep it real and honest. What's up, big dog? If you read the book, hopefully you guys are finished or wrapping up or getting close to wrapping up this book. And if you notice, there's a couple topics that I've been kind of skating around teaching. I'll wait. But now we're at the last two classes of teaching this book, so I have to go over it. The reason why, thing number one, is I am honestly still a baby in this game. And I'm not comfortable teaching things and standing up in front of people teaching shit that I'm not comfortable with. It goes back to the integrity piece, because I suck at it. So I was thinking, how can I teach this in a way that lines with my integrity? Right? So I'm going to go from the angle of how it has not worked in my favor by not doing it. And then we're going to talk about together as a student with you on ways on how we can get better at it. All right? So when we get there, we're going to talk about it. Next slide.
I commit to seeing that the opposite of my story is as true or truer than my version of the story.
Okay, so this is a mental tool that you can have as an entrepreneur. This will prevent you from getting tunneled in to your own ideas, thinking you the shit, thinking you know it all, thinking you better than everybody, thinking that your ideas are the only ideas. You get into the practice of knowing that your story is just one small angle of a multifaceted answer. Then it's like, oh shit, I don't know if you ever watched The Matrix, when he took Neo into this room with all the TVs and he showed them that there were hella Neos before him and all the outcomes, and one died and one did this, and it made him like, oh shit, I'm just one little drop in this bucket. So I'm the one, but I'm not the one. That's how you need to be when it comes to looking at your story, because your story plus emotion is like concrete into your psychology. It concretes yourself into your psychological thinking, your awareness, and nothing else matters, because something called cognitive dissonance kicks in. And when cognitive dissonance kicks in, it's hard for you to budge from it. It's hard for you to budge from it. Cognitive dissonance is how cults are formed and how cults stay. Because you can show a cult member the absolute truth to their face and they'll still hold on to it and come up with a reason to justify it because of cognitive dissonance. People will get abused in relationships. They'll get physically abused, mentally abused, and stay. Why? Cognitive dissonance. They'll come up with reasons because they're attached to their story plus emotion. So once we realize, oh, it's just my story. Oh, it's just my story. I wonder what other stories are out there. What's your story? What you think? What you think? Allows you to really see. You become a powerful entrepreneur at that point. Let's keep reading.
I recognize that I interpret the world around me and give my stories meaning. Wanting to be right is ego. Let it go.
Let it go, yo. Let it go. So, the civilian world's gonna be the civilian world, and that's okay. It's all good. But the entrepreneurial game that we playing, man, we have to play the game where we don't have the luxury to play the right and wrong or the ego game. More ego we got, the more risk we take in our business. The more right and wrong, the less resources we have in our business. That's the absolute truth, subjective truth. When you remove polarized thinking from your agenda, when you remove the polarity from your agenda and you add an and to your options, that's the way the game opens up. So, some people move like they got, it's 3 of them and they got 49 hours a day. Like, how do they do it? How did they make $10 million in 3 months? How can they get all these things done? Talk to them. You'll realize they don't really have that much of a right and wrong game. The possibilities are everywhere. Endless possibilities. And it don't got to be my idea. It could be yours. It could be yours. It could be yours. It could be anybody. Or let's all throw our ideas on the table, alloy it together, and come up with a better solution. That's the way you play this entrepreneur game, but you can't play it with ego. Can't play it with ego. I haven't played Monopoly in like 40 years, right? Used to play it as a kid. Ain't played in 40 years. I get my daughter four or 5 days a week. So she comes to the house, brings her Monopoly game. I'm like, what? You want to play Monopoly? We all spread it on the table. And there's a lot of us playing. And being an entrepreneur for so long, I'm like, It's not even fun no more. It's so easy. And I see people fighting and negotiating with ego and this and that. And you said no last time, so I'm not giving it to you this time. And playing the game with so much ego and right and wrong. And it was just like taking candy from all of them. And so my girl was like, you good at this Monopoly thing. I was like, girl, I do this every day for a living. This is life. But the biggest thing was ego and right and wrong. Ego and right and wrong. Well, that's Park Place and I have Boardwalk and you have the better one and I don't, so I'm not going to trade you. And I'm like, yeah, give me the little shitty properties. Give me that shitty property. Hotels. Give me that shitty property. Yeah, you probably didn't want that, huh? You want here, take it. Go ahead. Give me that. I got 3 now. Hotels. So everybody come around my block, you got to pay me, right? But it's boils down to ego, wanting to be right, and ego. Let's keep reading.
The purpose of the work is to become curious about all the possibilities of life. Done most effectively when you're not attached to any outcome or idea. It is not the issue itself that causes pain, but your interpretation of it. Conscious leaders take responsibility for being the labeler of their experiences in life and learn to question all their beliefs.
So it goes back to what we talked about earlier when it said it is not the issue itself that causes pain, but your interpretation of it. So you cannot be attached to any idea or outcome. So when we talked about value, if you're stubborn about what your thing is worth and what you're going to pay for it, if you're stubborn and you're not looking at the market side, that's how you're stuck with inventory. That's how you stuck with no customers. That's how you stuck with catching massive amounts of L's. So as we talked about earlier, that's when you know. You overvalued your product when you got no customers. Shit, what I have right now has no value because nobody wants it. I put a sign out to the world to say, hey, I got this thing, and nobody bought it. That means it has no value to the market, and that's okay. It's all right. It's okay. You just make adjustments. What are my adjustments? Is my price too high? The value that I do have, did my customers know about it? Was that clear? Does the market need it? Is it oversaturated? Just ask those questions and shoot again. Go after it again and see what happens. That's the beauty about that line when it says most effectively when you're not attached to any outcome or idea. Bruh, it's cold. That's how you win. It's almost, you can't lose. Because the way I rock is, if my value is 0, then I need to work for free until I grow some value. That's why interning is good. I ain't got no value right now to the market. I want to get in this field. I ain't never touched it. What some people do, they want to make $150,000 straight out of college and got no value, got a degree, and they think that they have value because of what their degree is worth. My degree is worth $120K. So that's how much I should be getting paid. No, your degree is worth $120K, but you have no value. You gain value with experience. So that's the beauty of that. Did we finish this?
Yep.
All right. Next slide. This shit is fire, bro. So win-win or no deal. Win-win or no deal. So the concept of this, which is talked very eloquently in the book, and that is when you approach situations with your customers, your customer engagement has to be win-win deals. That's relational. Tactical is win-lose. Tactical means I ain't never gonna see you again. I don't give a fuck about you. I need to get this bread right now. So I don't care what happens. If I lie, cheat you out, talk you out of it, doesn't matter. Because I ain't gonna never see you again. That's tactical. That's win-lose. I won, you lost. Just for the sake of being recorded and online, when I was in middle school, my friends, not me, there was certain like drugs. I think it was acid. You dip something on paper, you know, you cut up in little squares and you sell it to people. It was acid at the time. People was doing acid. And so I have friends who would just cut squares up and people and just sell them, nothing on them, right? And they was the rowdiest dudes at school, my friends. And so the dude would come back like, man, dude, I didn't get high, nothing happened. They're like, so get out my face. What you gonna do? Nothing. Move. That's tactical. That's win-lose. You know the cold part about it? We do it in business. Some people do it in business all the time. Do it in business all the time. It's 8.4 billion people on this earth. It'll take me a lifetime to burn all them bridges, so fuck it, let's go. Not realizing that there's a 6-degree separation in everything. And that bridge, your walls come tight around you real fast. Real fast. So if you want longevity in business, you approach every deal with a win-win, meaning I want to see you tomorrow. I want to see you next year. I want you to come back. I need your business. I need your referrals. I need you to tell people about me. I need that. If I sell to you one time and it's it, I fucked up as a business person. I have. You should average, there should be 3 or 4 deals that come out of one deal. Man, that's clean. Where you get that from? Go here. Go check that out. And you came back. Man, I came back, man. Like every time I put this on, like a whole bunch of people, I need something else. Cool, that's 3. Like, that's how you have to think in terms of business. If something happens, a snafu happened, that didn't fit right, or this thread came out, or I don't like it, or, okay, well, what can I do to fix that? What can I do to fix that? Because it's not the transaction money that I'm worried about. It's the 4x that's at stake in this moment. The 4x. That's the kind of business people we want to be. Remember that. And it's not as easy as of a road. And sometimes them returns and refunds be coming at the most inconvenient times. I got $14, you got $14 left in your bank account. And the item you sold for $14, they don't want it no more. That's when your integrity's tested. That's when this is tested. Hey, here you go. Sorry you had this experience. What can I do to fix it? What can I do to fix it? I'm telling you, that's the game. That's the game. Next slide. All right. Levels to life. I wrote these notes in this phone and it didn't show up in the iPad, so please give me 1 second. To pull it up. All right. So you got to understand that the levels to life, there's certain experiences that you have to go through in life to understand the levels, right? I think there's the next slide after this. It talks about the classes. Yeah, classes of experiences. So you have to understand how we talked about with integrity, how everything you do affects your strength as a person. The class that you're in affects how you move too. So a class 1 experience of a person is that you move in spaces where that what you do is good for you, and it feels good, and it serves the greater good. So that's class 1. I want to write this down. A class 1 experience is that what you do, it feels good, but it's also good for you, and it serves the greater good. A class 2 experience is it is good for you, but it doesn't feel good, but it serves the greater good. I want to go to the gym. The gym's good for me, but I hate going. But it serves the greater good. It serves the people around me. I'm here longer. I got more energy. I can show up to the people more. A class 3 experience is that it feels good, but it's not good for you. And it doesn't serve the greater good. In class 4, which I don't know why anybody would do, but it doesn't feel good. It's not good for you, and it doesn't serve the greater good. Where do you live? What class are you? Where you live at? Where do you spend most of your time? Where do you spend most of your time? As an entrepreneur, you're always trying to find ways to serve the greater good too. What's your give back game look like? And the idea is to think and move in ways that are creative to where the win-win or no deal is like, win-lose meaning is good for me. I mean, it feels good, but it's not good for me, or it doesn't serve the greater good. A win-win says, man, we both got to win. Here's the value you give me in money in exchange for the value I give you in product or service. And you're happy, and I'm happy, and the world's happy. That's a class 1 experience. That's what entrepreneurs do. They provide class 1 experiences. Class 2, shit ain't gonna feel good all the time. Ain't gonna feel good. You're just not. Sometimes you wake up and I'm dead tired. I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to do X or Y and Z thing that's good for me. Or man, I just want to get my daughter on that iPad so she could just leave me alone for like 3 hours. I know it feels good to me, but if that's a consistent thing, it doesn't serve her. It's not good. It doesn't serve the greater good. Knowing if I take her off, it is like 1,000 miles a minute and I'm hella tired, but I gotta fight this. All right, come on. Like there's little things. You got a partner. Like you got to serve when you don't feel like serving sometimes. You got to hold back when you don't. Like there's so many things you do that are good for you that serve the greater good. You got to spend money on things that you don't even give a shit about. But it serves the greater good. So if you think in terms of that, you're playing a long game. You're playing a long entrepreneurship game. And you want to be here for a while. Next slide. All right, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. So play and rest. I've been dragging out this one for a minute because this one right here is the one I'm terrible at. I'm just gonna keep it 100. And so my ambition fuels me. My desire, so even scarcity and survival mode fuels me. Where I come from, hood, poverty, struggle fuels me. And I'm a hustler at my core, fuels me. And I got this get rich or die trying energy down here, and that fuels me. So talking about sleep, talking about rest, man, fuck rest. I'll play when I get rich. That's the mentality. That's dangerous. And I've been working on this for a long time because my brain could not logically comprehend that stopping working allows you to make more money. Playing makes you more successful. I don't get it. I don't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. And so where I started to get clues on it is when you feel, this is one of the clues. I started getting too serious. I want this shit so bad. I want it so bad. I wake up 5:30, meditate, boom, I'm reading, I hop in the car, I'm listening to an audiobook. Audiobook all the way to the gym. I pop in the earphones, another audiobook in the gym, workout, straight to work, serious. Then on the way home, audiobook, then get home, eat 2 hours, boom. It's calculated, and that's every single day. Every day. So guess what? I'm too serious. I start getting too serious. It's too calculated, precise. Everything is just right bucked up under in the pursuit of where I'm going. To where I told you guys this, I'm sitting in the office and I hear laughter and I'm like, the fuck they laughing for? You should be laughing at your motherfucking job, getting to work. Serious. It's crazy. It's not healthy. And then if I happen to have a day off or free time, I'm sitting there like, what do I do? What do I do? I don't even know what to do. Do you go anywhere for fun? No. When was the last time you was? I don't even know. Because I'm so locked in. That's survival mode. That's scarcity. That's almost PTSD. That's crazy. So what happens is I'm trying little things, and there's a trip. Like I stop. I'm like, I'm gonna take a chill from audiobooks for now. I'm gonna listen to music in my car. 2 weeks ago, I started that. I'm gonna listen to music in my car. Damn, I remember that. So I walk into the office with I'm a little chipper. So just one joke now. Just crazy off just that. So sometimes you can go too hard and you got to stop even in the midst of working, there's things you can do. Let's play a game. Let's do this. I'm still not to the vacation part yet, but I'm at what fun things can we do in the midst of how can I not be so serious? How can I not be so serious? Because you know what happens? My brain says the minute court starts to relax and joke around, then the whole office will be fucking partying. So I'm afraid of that. So I stay tense and tight and whatever. Which there's a play that you have to have that he talks about that I'm still on my path to learn. That's a good balance. I don't know yet between that was funny, but let me shut the fuck up and get back to work. I don't know that balance because I see you give an inch, they take a mile. That's the story that I have in my head. And then now I got to flash and go smash on everybody, reel them back in. That is literally where I'm at right now. I just got to the stage of listening to music in my car and opening my sunroof. That's this week. So now it's music and sunroof. I'm dead fucking serious. That's why I waited this long to teach this shit. So, like, part of me, like the fish that doesn't know that they're in water, there's still pieces of me that knows that this is important. You got to do this. But I'm afraid, like my body is literally afraid to. And so I'm working little pieces and little opportunities to try to break through, but that's where I'm at. I know this is important because when you rest and play, your ideas can come. New ideas can come. You can form new concepts around your beliefs and your systems and processes. Breakthroughs in your business can happen when you're playing and resting and sleeping, chilling, relaxing, and maybe you can, when you come, maybe you can expound upon this more. But I'm speaking from theory. I'm not speaking from experience. I'm still the 7th grader who was like, Mom, I got school clothes and my lunch money every day now. You ain't got a trip because I see you struggling. That kid is still here. So I don't know how to, like, oh shit, I'm a wolf. If I don't work, I don't eat. But now I'm responsible for so many. So that's scarcity. That's a scarcity story. When that's not true. Especially if I got runway. So, but have you ever known what you needed to do and got in the moment and didn't do it? That's the reality. So I know what I need to do. It's just when those moments happen, I take the Shabisha route sometimes. Shabisha, when we first introduced the wolf and the dog, she was like, well, I don't want to be a wolf, but what if I could just be a squirrel? It's a step. Yeah. So, does anybody in the crowd have things that they do to break their monotony and have fun or rest?
You said to break the monotony and rest.
Play and rest. Yeah.
Play and rest. Rest definitely has been my newest favorite thing. Going to sleep and waking up feeling refreshed. Sometimes I was connecting this younger version of me that could stay up and keep on working on that computer till 3 o'clock in the morning and still for some reason get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and get to Laney College. Them days over. And I kept on killing myself thinking I could still do that. And I'm like, no, dude, you finally realize like this connection. We were talking the other day, this connection with the sun. I love waking up. It doesn't feel like work. It feels like this is my enjoyment of waking up with the sun. I don't have to do nothing else but just rise with it. It's the easiest thing in the world. As far as play, I've always enjoyed driving. I'll jump on the road and just blast out sunroof and just pick a destination and go. I've always felt like it was just a great peace of mind. I can't get on my phone. I can't get on the laptop. I put it in driving mode and just let it go to voicemail. 30, 45 minutes later, back ready to jump back into something. So that to me is my play. Sports wasn't mine, but those are two of my favorite things right there now. I never thought I'd be sitting over here talking about I love getting some good night's sleep.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope. I'm trying to be a better dad with my 7-year-old daughter than before. My first entrepreneurship venture with my 2 sons, I was never home. I was out working all the time. So my daughter, I do stuff to spend time with, but I'm realizing I don't do the fun shit. Like she wanted to go to Six Flags. So yeah, let's go. Took him to Six Flags. I would just sit while her and my girl go on all the rides, and I just sit there and wait for them to get off the line. Like my body literally didn't even think to like, I want to get on let's get on the rides too, or I want to jump into the fun shit. Like I'm the orchestrator, and it's a weird, like those things are coming through my conscious now, and it's like, why not? And it's because of what we talked about. That's a drift in psychology. And so all the fun stuff that you used to do to dream that got you to where your business is now, or to even building the business that you have, that came from a fun place. That came from my business came from my love of basketball. I ain't played basketball in 11 years. Not even a pickup game. That's since I started this company. So 10 years. So that is, you got like, that's arthritis of the entrepreneur. There's arthritis of the entrepreneur, and then that's what you get tight and tense and break. What do anybody do for play? Does anybody do anything for play? To Neil. PG for everybody. E for everybody.
No, we're not going to do that. To play. With the team, I'll do something as small as doing like a funny text to Nana or other team members that'll message me about something. I always put something to make them laugh. In there, I'll say funny stuff in the office, get everybody laughing, joking. I just noticed that when I'm feeling stuck or challenged, to just give myself the opportunity to pause and do something that comes to me naturally, just sort of shifts that moment. And what it has done is help me to move at least further away from the position of always having to be right or wrong, right? To just pause. And I really believe that laughter is medicine to the soul, right? Even if you're the first recipient of that. So for me, it's just always finding opportunities to just sort of let go and laugh. So it could be text or whatever.
That's fire. You ready? You good? Okay.
So rest is one that I've been leaning into lately. So Nana been forever talking about these. I don't know if he was talking about the naps or waking up later, but Tone Vic is a flag waving nap dude, and I was like, man, how do you go to sleep in the middle of the day? That's different. And but these 20-minute naps, the energy that it brings back is huge. I feel like real refreshed. And I find myself trying to explain to a 7-year-old, like, Dad, why do old people like to sleep in the day? It's like, first of all, who you calling old, bruh? But that I find that rest is really I'm learning to value it more these days.
Dope. So next week we're gonna talk about it some more, and then we're gonna go into. But I would love to hear Nana's take on it too. So, all right, see you in a second.
You know, I had to go to 2 graduations today, man. I tell you. Oh, I got things to say. Anyway, first thing is, let me say something real quick. This is a side note. You know, we have this idea that I want to leave money for my children. Can we kill that myth off? And let me tell you where I'm going with this. And I'm constructing this as we go, and I'm gonna work on this more in the future. But what happens if you win $1 million from lottery? What more likely will happen if you never had money before? Within 1 year, you lose it, right? So let's say you leave $5 million for your children. From 1 year from now, what's going to happen? 5 years. I mean, to say by the time you die, you left from $5 million, which is, say, 10 to 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now. $5 million is really $1 million. So you gave them 1 year of pleasure. But what if you left them with your mental models, left them with knowledge, and then left them with your relationships? They can make all the money they want to make forever. I think that the false idea that we transfer money, it's a nice story and it's a nice myth, especially when you're looking up. It sounds so good. If somebody could just give me money, not realizing that you really need their tools. I mean, in the United States, there's so much money laying around. I mean, you see how often people are able to gain resources from all kind of endeavors, right? But if your child doesn't own that process of how to gain for themselves, then at the end of the day, you left them with nothing. And so one of the things I was just paying attention to, how a lot of times like, oh, give the kids money, give the kids money. I'm like, no, give the kids the ability. If you give the kids the ability, like you, for example, I went to 2 graduations, and one was you could tell the school was underfunded. And the experience was like, these kids look like you're the blue collar class, if at best, right? And then I go to another school, and these look like all the Stanford and Cal Berkeley graduates, all in the same races, right? But now what was interesting was the money around the neck and paying the money was really popular in the poverty-based school. And they were giving us certificates. Everything was very visual, right? You get to the school that had resources, they didn't even get a diploma. They just walked, shook their hand and kept it going, assuming they're going to send it to them in the mail, email them, or whatever's going to be, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like, we got to start going back to the conversation with stories. All stories must be challenged. All stories must be challenged. Go back a few slides to what you had about labels. Go. Where's the one before that? One before that. Yeah, before that. Before that. Before that. Okay. Conscious leaders take responsibility for being the labelers of their experience in life. Okay, watch this. So we're all minorities, right? You see how somebody gave you a label? Think about it now, okay. Building a business by default has to be difficult because of this thing called competition. It's not going to be easy. I'm sorry. It's not an easy thing. Business by default has to be difficult because of competition. So that means that everybody in this room who's decided to want to build their own thing is going to experience a large level of friction because of what? Competition. But when that friction lands, do you frame it as difficult, or do you just frame it as part of the experience? And if somebody's told you that you're on the weaker side this whole time, it's almost like, have you ever went to go work out and somebody's like, this is going to be a really rough workout. Oh my God, we're going to be so tired. We're going to run 3 miles uphill. It's going to be so painful, but I think we can get through it. Do you realize that your first 3 steps are going to be painful? Because mentally you already brought the idea that it's going to be difficult. This is why the labeling that's coming from social justice of victimization is going to change the meaning of all those friction points you will experience in your climb in your business. Meaning that quite often they say that one of the ways to guarantee failure is if you get knocked down, you don't get back up. It's guaranteed. It's absolute guaranteed failure. And yet, if you're told this whole time, you're traumatized, you're oppressed, you're underfunded, you're black, you're female, you're woman, Latino, Asian, short as shit, Josh, you just look like Josh, and that's just depressing. Whatever it is, right? I'm just saying, Josh, it's rough on me. But the point is this. But whatever that may be, or whatever it could possibly be, if you accept that story from the starting gate, it's no different than going into a workout or a marathon and somebody telling you what you can't do and you buying into it. So that phrase is so much more powerful because, okay, there was a famous phrase, I think it was Darwin. It might not be Darwin, it might not be Darwin. But it was this idea that the number one skill required to survive, to be successful in life is adaptability. If you can't be adaptable, none of this shit matters. But when you hardcore about a story or a label, that's the end of your story. That is the breaking point for you. All right, go back to the play. Play and rest. Okay. Play and rest. Let me just say this real quick. If you have a company that depends on innovation and creativity, play is a necessary must. Absolute must, right? So I'm gonna pick on Tania a little bit because she can't with me from back there. And don't you throw anything. You understand me? So Tania was on the team, and when she first came on, she started to put things on my schedule. And she started to experience friction from me because I was like, don't do it. She's like, you ain't got on your schedule. I don't care. Leave my schedule alone. She's like, what is wrong with this dude? I work for you, and yet you don't let me touch your schedule, but yet you want me to help you with your schedule. Yeah, but don't touch my schedule. And what I had to convey to her is, just because I have a job don't mean I need to say yes or be there. Why? If I don't have time to pull back from the space I'm in, reflect, look at my company from a macro space, rethink things, challenge my own stories, challenge our internal inertia, then I will wake up tomorrow and I just will rinse and repeat, even if I am dying by the rinse and repeat actions or the rituals. So before COVID, watch this, stay with me, y'all. Some of y'all have not got out of COVID mode yet, and you don't even know you have it. You have no idea you're still in COVID mode. COVID made you move slower. It made you ever seen a dog when they're hungry, they just keep snooping around? They're just looking for something food, they just keep snooping, and they're just smelling and smelling and smelling and smelling. They're not efficient. They're not running, they don't have straight lines of actions or intent. They say just, I need some food, right? And many of us went into that mode. We were just sniffing for survival, right? Looking for every opportunities. And then now we're back online. And it's time to rev up. And some of your processes has drag attached to it. It's a little bit, you're probably overcommitting to certain ideas. You're probably talking too damn long to the clients. You're probably too much customer service. There's a such thing as too much customer service. Well, how can I help you? Are you sure? Well, maybe I can come pick you up and bring you to our store. Well, that was cool during COVID because damn it, that's what you needed, right? But you don't realize that you changed your speed, right? And so COVID takes off, it's time to speed up. And guess what? You start to fail. Why? And it's going to feel kind of like, oh, what's going on? What's wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You got to identify that, what do I need to do to change my velocity? Because the velocity I've been in for the last 3 years, it's just been fucking slow. And so, but you would never see that if you're busy now, rinsing and repeating, and you won't be able to identify the problem. You'll feel this hidden feeling like something's on the back of your shoulders weighing you down, but you won't be able to identify it because you haven't had enough time to step back and see the macro or see the story. And ask yourself, do we still need to do that? Why that direction? Does that even mean anything? Matter of fact, you have to design for efficiency. Efficiency says, I dump this, I keep that. This makes more sense. It's almost like, what do you call it? Cost of opportunity, what do you call that? The cost of, opportunity cost. Opportunity cost, right? You have to start to measure your movement of opportunity cost in your day-to-day actions as well as the way your staff is moving. Because your staff may still be moving in a rhythm. Even though everybody's busy, they're busy moving too slow. Because you still have adjusted to the rhythm. A person calls you for a service, and sometimes you'll say, yeah, I'll get back to you right away. And I jump in right away, I'll make sure I get it taken care of. But now you got 20 jobs. That's not possible. So now you have to get to the point where, what's your scheduling game like? Where's your no game like? What do you say no? How do you change the offer? How do you attach a price to the change of time? Saying, hey, I can't get it to you this week. We can start it next month. But if you need me scheduled in sooner, it's going to cost you this much. Or are you still in COVID mode where whatever it takes to get a customer? Because now customers are coming in so fast, it's the opposite side. You have customers, but you're not directing them correctly to keep the flow going and to be able to grow the flow correctly. Or you have workers who are overstressed now because they're the frog in the hot waters has been boiling, getting hotter and hotter and hotter because things are speeding up. And you think, oh, it's the same to me. No, it's not. You look at your numbers, you realize you might even be moving let's say you got money coming in and your checking account has almost $1 million sitting in the checking account. What are you doing? Why do you have $1 million sitting in your checking account? What's the concept of that? If you have $1 million in your checking account, you're insane. You're insane. The money's dying. Like take half of that money and put it in, and spread it out between $250,000 investments and have it insured by the government, and at least draw 5% interest from bonds or from interest-bearing savings accounts, something, shit. But to let $500,000 to $1 million sit in the bank account untouched, that's not going to be touched for the whole year. And mind you, you can access that money within a week, right? But it's just COVID mode. Are you still in scarcity mode? Are you still scared? Are you still frightened? So watch this with play and rest. Playing is a whole different. It's. I'm gonna try to summarize it so I can then draw the line. To be able to play in your environment is to be able to trust the methods. So Court System was real powerful. First of all, Court allowing you to peek into his life and that level of vulnerability speaks to his real strength. If anybody understands human beings, for him to position himself as a leader and still be vulnerable is beyond imaginary powerful, right? Because most often people, one of the weaknesses of many leaders is they spend more time wearing a mask, and then after a while they get lost within their own mask. His level to stay honest with himself and with the people he's speaking to allows him, it gives me confidence he'll always navigate his way out. You know, some things may take a day, some things may take a week, some things may take a year, but he will always navigate himself out because of the pure honesty. Steph, he said that when I hire these employees, I have this fear that if I take my foot off the gas, they will gamify me. That's pretty much what he summarized, right? Gamify. But watch this. What's really crazy? He also has the intelligence to design a system. He's absolutely extremely intelligent. He just doesn't trust it. And it's probably because some story he has from the past, he still hasn't let that story go. Because there's a story that starts play. It's all of us naturally play. When he was a kid, he ain't like he came out of his mother's stomach, was like, yo, what we doing? like he came out playing from day one. But something happened in his life that says, maybe he only lost his business the last time. And he's like, yo, I don't want to experience it again. And maybe he blamed something incorrectly that now becomes, I don't know. I'm literally just throwing out bait, right? I don't have any inside line. What I'm suggesting is that a lot of times when you're traumatized by something that happened to you and you didn't properly address that trauma, or you build a rigid story around that trauma and and a straight line of causation, that a lot of times blocks the process. Two, I'm throwing out all these possible reasons. Two, this is why also who you hire fucking matters. Because if you have people that can gamify you, then he hired too many enemies in his castle. Right? He's like Caesar waiting for somebody to stab him. Not a good move, right? Once again, I have none of these insights. This man has 3 times the staff since I last known him, and most of those staff have been either demoted or moved in some other spaces. So I'm trying to use him generically in a make-believe way to kind of talk to you guys, right? I'm not talking to him. I mean, I'm talking to him, but I'm not talking to him. So your hiring matters. So for example, a lot of times if you're trying to be good while you, as a business owner, you just want to be good, right? What does good also mean for many business owners? You struggle with saying no. Can you say no? Can you say, no, I don't give a shit, no. And not even be upset about it, just no. Now, you know the person you're talking to is upset when you say no, but can you say no? Can you fire somebody after the first 1 or 2 incidents while they're in probation? Be like, it's not working. I'm sorry. Do you still believe in merit? Or do you want to give everybody a chance? Are you so fair that you no longer serve yourself? I mean, these are things you got to really, these are things that are really, really serious. If you can't say no, then your yeses don't mean much. In order for your yes to be effective, I can't have an offense with 0 defense and try to win a championship. I have to be able to, at some point, play defense. Somebody has to be able to say, not you. But now, I get it that we hire some people to help train them and develop them, and that's okay, but that has to be a smaller percentage of your company. But if those people are strategically positioned in your company, they're dangerous to you. So now you have to compensate by micromanaging them, which means that you can't see the horizon that you need to lead the company towards. So in the end, I need to hire people that make me feel inferior. Everybody try to hire, I need you to be better than me. I cannot be better than you. I'm not interested in that. Don't get me wrong, when you first hire somebody, they may, like for example, you get somebody out of college, highly talented, has great potentials. You can bring them in at a certain level and then grow their level and they'll be way greater than you, right? I'm saying the lead person in my design team, my lead strategist, my lead researcher, got to smoke me. They cannot be equal to me. So what I'm saying is that in order to get to play, stay with me and watch what I'm saying here. In order to get to play, you got to clean house. Otherwise, you'll never be able to play. Can't. I have to keep my house clean for play to happen. If my house gets sloppy and messy, play doesn't work. That's why even my office designs, I'm talking to the employees in my office based upon where I put the furniture to set a certain mindset so they show up in work, they know that this is what we do here. So then when they plan, they still plan, but with a sense of value of still we got to protect what we have here. I'm gonna share I'm gonna share a compliment by Tennille that almost made me cry. I mean, I'm not lying, I almost cried. But Shama sent me a picture of Tennille walking around the block of our new business picking up trash. First of all, that was so emotional for me to see somebody in our team valuing our space so much. It says, and Tennille said, this is our block. This is our block, right? That's the mindset I must have in my space. So then when Tennille's playing, I'm totally comfortable. I don't give a shit. Actually, I think she's funny as I tell you, I don't cap on her because I can't take, I think she's the only woman who can out-cap me. That's not a professional comedian. Maybe a professional comedian can get me, but Tennille, I suggest if you feel like telling jokes about somebody, any mini skipper and go Mo. Just don't try that. Just don't come for her, otherwise you will suffer. But I'm just saying, like playing works within a structure. Structure comes first. It's not play and then it produces a structure. You produce a structure that allows playing to happen. So, for example, ownership, responsibility. But the guys that tell you, don't I preach ownership and responsibility all the fucking time? Yeah. Like ridiculous. Like if I sense you don't have ownership and responsibility, we got problems. I'm coming for you. Because I want you to move just like I want to be able to tell a joke and still meet my deadlines and realize, okay, if I don't meet this, if I don't work on this document in the next 2 hours, I can work on it this evening, right? I understand. I can manage my time like that. But if I sense at one point we missed one deadline because you didn't pass the baton, oh, I see you and I come for you. So we play. I'm very serious, but I'm also very relaxed as long as you have ownership. If I sense you don't have ownership, I really don't have much value for you. If I see you're a blaming person, like if I come to Scott and Scott's like, well, I didn't do it because this person did it, this person did it, he'll tell you I'll blow up on him. Like, take your fucking responsibility. I'll talk to that person separately, but you take your responsibility. So with us all having responsibility, let me tell you what that's translated to the customer experience. Nana, everybody on your team moves a certain kind of way. What is that? Last, I attach a story to our why. We are 510 Media, and this is what we believe in, and this is what we stand for. And this is what we uphold. And every year, if you're the same as you were last year, I'm going to come for you, which means I might terminate you. You're required to grow every year that you're in this company. How do you run a professional basketball team and you don't have high standards, high performance expectations, and you don't expect people to practice? How do you run a professional basketball team when you don't have a design structure for them to win? Go ahead.
The other night I was at jiu-jitsu and one of my homies was like, man, I saw you reading this book and you're reading that book. What's up with that? I was like, I'm in a position right now where I'm taking on a lot of responsibility and it requires me to read about 5 books a month right now. I have to take on that velocity, and the people that I'm around expect that from me. Like, I have to move at the level that they're moving at.
It's how tight. It's another form of inertia. And then, mind you, I rode my Harley today. You know, I went to 2 graduations. I was having a good time riding between those graduations. I went to go look for my new BMW, and he offered me an i7 with the drop down screen, right? And he offered me an X7, and I told him, which one has the best bass? Straight, I'm not even like, my wife looked at me, she's like, did you just say which one has the best bass? I'm like, what the fuck? I'm a black dude. I don't want to hear I don't listen to treble. My shit got to hit my chest, right? If I spend $100,000, $100,000 plus, you understand me? It has to make my chest rattle. And all of a sudden, this music sounds it's so crisp and the highs are so great. I don't give a shit about highs. Look, I need my shit to pound. I need to pull up on the block. They be like, oh, here come Nana. Down the street. Not until I get in the driveway. Down the street. Oh, here come this cat late at night. Like, me and my sister the same. My sister, we both are performing really well in life. And my sister is like this one of the highest paid city workers for the city of Oakland. Every car she gets, she drops 10s in them. Now, I'm not as 10s, but you got to put a woofer underneath my seat at least. So I can just feel the woofer hit me, right? So everything I do, I play. Like, I'm going to Samara Joy concert tomorrow. Or I go to my concerts, right? Now, I'm not going to no clubs. I don't drink no alcohol. I don't smoke no weed. And the reason I don't need to escape life is because I enjoy being present. And challenges to me is like going to the gym. Yeah, it's a little, it might be a little stress on me, but it's nothing to, it's nothing to cause that kind of problem. So, I buy toys, man. I buy motherfucking toys. I got a drone. I got cameras. I got, like I said, motorcycles. I got car. I got, I play, man. I play every chance I get. So, with that being said, oh yeah, I got guns too. Yeah, I got guns. Yeah, but I play. Don't get scared. Everybody's okay. Ain't nobody everybody's safe. Unless you ask me for some money. All right, so let's get to the first slide. Let's roll into this. I want to jump into this inertia. I want to push you guys a little bit. I want to make you guys a little uncomfortable. Also, I'm going to make sure I'm going to show you a lot of strategy here. So this is going to be a heavy strategy session, but also remember the strategies we work on is not just for business. It goes across your whole life. Second thing is I'm going to release a podcast. I'll make sure I get it to Neil tonight. It's going to be 2 podcasts. One from Naval, and it sounds like court 3 years from now. I promise you. This dude, wisdom level is crazy, right? And everything, of course, taught in the last 3 class, Naval did it like in 45 minutes, right? It was dope as hell. Second podcast I'm going to provide you guys, it's going to be a parenting podcast. Now, y'all said, no, you providing us a parenting podcast? Okay, I hate most parenting podcasts, by the way. But this podcast, I think, is not only a parenting podcast, it's a self-awareness podcast. And this woman's controversial. Her name was Abigail something. She came out against trans, playing sports a little ways. So she became, everybody just like, she's trash, right? I think she works for Wall Street. And she wrote a piece about parenting, how we're overusing psychology. And our retreats, I think that's what made me pull away from the retreats. Because I feel like everybody was going too internal. And you don't realize that as a human being, we get our power from focusing external. If you're always going, how do I feel? I don't know how I feel. Go running one day and just keep asking that question. Watch it be the most painful run you've ever had in your life. But if you can run with somebody, you're having a conversation, you'll be surprised. You'll run 3 miles, be like, God damn it, I done ran 3 miles, right? But if you sit there, like even when somebody would call me on my phone when I'm cycling, and I would finish my whole cycle and be packing my bike up and be like, I just did 15 miles, didn't even feel it. But that same 15 miles on a day that I told myself I don't want to do it, I'm like, God damn, 15 more fucking miles? I'm counting every cadence. Oh my God, I should. So it's such a psychological thing. And so for most of us right now, it talks about parenting in a way that I think is so damn dope. It also lets you know that, first of all, parenting is how you show up. It's not what you do to the child. It's how you show up. It's also how you think. So for example, my daughter, if I walk to the door right now, my daughter's going to announce everything she did wrong today. because she knows she's not gonna that's not how we do it. Getting something wrong means how do we move forward and figure out how to fix it in the future. It's not you're a bad person, right? When she the only time she's ever hear me strengthen my voice, I don't never call her name, is if she tells her mother she's gonna fight her. I'm like, what you say? I say Nzinga, and she be like, oh, okay. My daughter will fight anybody. She thinks she can fight everybody. And she's only 5. How are you fighting everybody at 5 if she thinks she can fight? But outside of that, parenting is really, this podcast is really, really dope because I think when you listen to it, you're going to hear a lot about yourself. And I think that's what you hear about yourself is going to blow your mind. You're going to say, oh shit, I am tripping in these areas. Oh shit. And you realize also too, pay attention how they talk about how society is changing their position with your child. So somehow society has put the psychologist first, parents second, peers third. It's crazy. Crazy. So a lot of adults are working, even like, for example, we have this, I know this adult that's within the reach of my, I have access to twice a week. He's adult, young adult. And he's damaged not because I don't think he has any mental damage. He's over-coddled. Mama coddled him so damn much. He just didn't evolve. Now, he probably will evolve, but he's going to go through a lot of pain, and hopefully he can go through that pain without having mental damage because his framing is so fragile. So look for those 2 podcasts going to come out. I think it's going to be roughly about 3 hours of podcast. There's no class next week, so there's plenty of time for you to listen to this weekend, next weekend, and by the time we come back for class, Wednesday after next, please bring some questions to the class. Y'all ready to do this? Y'all good? All right, let's do this.
We like to think we're open-minded and willing to change our beliefs when the facts change, but history has shown otherwise.
So let's get back into what he says, the right versus wrong. This is right versus wrong. Why can't we change our mind? Why is it that when we have these strong beliefs, we kind of can know there's something different, or we may not completely own our knowledge, or we might even see the other side? But why is it that when you commit to an argument or to an idea, or even to a purchase or whatever, what's going on? Keep going.
When the automobile was first introduced, many critics dismissed it as a mere fad, arguing that horses and carriages were a more reliable mode of transportation.
Pause. AI. AI. I was having a conversation with some young men last week, and one of the young men said, AI scares me. You know AI doesn't think, right? Let me say this again. You know AI does not think. AI doesn't think. Once you realize that, like it looks like it's thinking, but it's not thinking, right? It's an advanced version of statistics. It's not thinking. So, but because it feels like, for example, I don't know if you guys using the most recent version of ChatGPT. So the first night it came out, I have the Ray-Ban AI glasses at home. So I sit down in my chair, and I'm having a full-out conversation about the history of Egypt. Just going back and forth. We're talking like me and Silence would talk any other. I mean, we're flowing, and it's talking with personality like it's. And I had to put my glasses down. I'm like, whoa, that felt real uncomfortable. That was different. That was yeah, okay. I need okay. Well, hey, let's end that for the night. Let's just call it for the night. You know? it's like it was just a little weird, right? But I'm also 57 years of age. I'm about to be 7 this September. So I might as well say I'm 57. 56 turn 57. So of course it's going to be unusual for me. I have 57 years of not experiencing AI. But let me tell you why it's important that you embrace AI. The faster you can capitalize on AI, see, the world hasn't caught up. AI is like the new computer. Like, it's like you buying your first computer yourself, and you learn to use a computer before everybody else, and all of a sudden you get all these economic opportunities that by the time the world catches up, you reposition yourself economically. The world, like literally, some of my clients like, you write so well. It's AI, dog. I don't even write that shit so well. I wrote my ideas freely. Toy AI, clean that shit up, change some of the words so it sounds like me, sent it off. My God, Nana, But people are still stuck in the judgment of great handwriting, right? They got this new software called Note LM. Note LM. You copy and paste notes from a project. So say you do research or insights, right? Take all your notes, you copy it into the program, right? And then the AI only uses your notes to give you answers. It doesn't use the internet, just your notes. So you want to ask specific questions to all this research material or the client's website and everything, just put it all in one document, and you can say, hey, what is their branding strength? What is their perception of their branding strength? What on last year, what was this, if you have the data that's in there, it's only going to look at that data and provide you outputs, right? You know how much time that used to take and how much there was a software I paid for our company 4 years ago. You know how much that software was? It's $25,000 a year that does just that. I'm warning you guys, don't play this inertia game of, AI, I don't know how. Jump on it. Take the YouTube classes, learn, you especially, yeah. Give a microphone. Just how you. Yeah, Notebook LM. Yeah, Notebook LM. It's Google tool. Notebook LM. It's amazing tool for researching, or if you're working with a lot of data and you want to be able to just place the data in this space and then pull information and even write in the language of the data. It's amazing. Notebook LM. All right, keep going.
All right. Similarly, when the airplane was first invented, people were skeptical of its practicality and safety. Mm-hmm. The radio, television, and internet all face similar initial skepticism. Yet, despite this, each of these inventions has had a profound impact on the way we live today.
And all those things were supposed to take away jobs, by the way. All those things, it's going to take away jobs. Take away jobs. But it's going to create new jobs. Right? When we say something's going to take away jobs, it's a peek into a flaw of our thinking. One of our flaws of our thinking is none of us really own the future. When we think about the future, it is compiled of our past. Right? So in order for you to really walk into the future, you have to be able to walk into the future with curiosity and questions. Otherwise, you'll never get to the gate of the future. As long as you try to make the future fit your comfort zone. I told somebody the other day, I said, okay, let's imagine a pro-black society. Will that even matter in 20, 30 years from now? We don't know what that is. In our time, it mattered, right? But what if this next generation, that we don't even know what's going on? Like, for example, if you watch generation now that's 17, 18, 19, you never imagine some of the things they're doing. Never imagine, right? Some of the things they're facing, never imagine. They're going to have AI. Never imagine. So even when you're trying to build for the future, you realize you don't really own that, right? That's such a dope ass point, because then it allows you to let go of some of these stories. I'm doing this because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. Well, for you, not for the world. The world don't give a shit. Mm-hmm. We're going to do what the world do. And once again, if you're not adapting, you're not going to be a part of it. Keep going. Next slide.
The zone of average is a dangerous place when it comes to inertia. It's the point where things are working well enough that we don't feel the need to make any changes.
Stop. I would argue that has been the weakness of most people I run across. Because things are working well, why should I change anything? If you're a business, stay with me on this one. If you're not constantly disrupting the norm, you're probably in a zone of average. I'm talking about, okay, for example, let's say Corey Smith was designing for 510 Media, and he's cold-blooded designer, right? And we win in that year. Next year, I'm already thinking about what's next. Otherwise, because competition is watching Corey Smith, and even though he may be here today, he's going to be average soon. And if I don't keep that same velocity under either making sure that Corey Smith is getting the exposure he needs to get, or putting things around Corey Smith, so Corey Smith is not the only entity that we're relying upon, so now the team is outputting something that's greater than the individual members, then by default, I will fall into the averages. If you were great when you first started and everybody celebrated you, and you haven't worked really, really hard to grow your skills, you're becoming average. Mm-hmm. This is so fucking cold. If you made money in the last couple of years doing really well in business, and you don't have an aggressive plan moving forward for the following year that makes you feel like you're gonna be doing something different than the previous year, you're probably an average. If you're not losing a certain amount of your customers because you've already moved on to something else that they got used to, and you're already on to something else, you're gonna fall into the space of average. And although you're comfortable, this is why you don't get to have a job and be an entrepreneur. It's two different ways of thinking. This is why a lot of nonprofits suck. Sorry, nonprofit students online. I'm just gonna keep this shit 100. A lot of times, nonprofits don't have enough friction to push them out of the zone of averages. But an entrepreneur, when you go to the bank and and your bank account has dropped a few $1,000s, I'm talking about 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 that month, you realize, oh, I have fell into the zone of average. That means you got to always be pushing when there's no need to push. You got to always be disrupting when there's no need to disrupt. You got to constantly change when there's no need to change. So you remember, anybody know me from the past? These guys know me from the past. Every few years, all this furniture got to go. It's like Mashami, every year you have to become better. Yeah, I'm doing it right now. Every year I would say, you still doing that? I remember Cola. Cola's been a good photographer for a long time. So one year he had a great year. His photography, I came out of photography, he was rising in photography, we were doing this, switching places. And everybody's loving his work. And I put him aside and I said, dude, get your own shit. You copying me. Do some better shit than what you're doing. Because you're becoming average now. Even though he hadn't hit average yet. Colo just trusts me enough to say, fuck it, okay, I'll change and I'll improve. Because what happened was he stopped practicing downstairs with new models and new ideas and new concepts. And so he started rinsing and repeating. When you're rinsing and repeating all the time, you're on your way to being average. Pay attention. The zone of average, you will not feel it. It will feel good because, let me tell you what's going to happen. Remember press secretary? The brain's going to be telling you, you're doing an amazing job. You're doing something different. You're phenomenal. You're great. People going to be praising you online, in person. Oh my God, Silence, I'm so good. My nephew's finally going to become famous. You're the best in the city, bro. Ain't nobody messing with you. There's no such thing. If you're not trying to become better, you are falling into the zone of average. That shit cold, right? Cold. Whatever you think you're good at, your looks even. If you ain't taking care of yourself, how many people you seen fall into the zone of average? They were beautiful in their 20s. 30s, they about as average. And some of them fell into the zone of, oh my God. Okay, let's keep going. Go ahead.
We hope.
Give my mic, man. Okay, well, just leave a microphone with him. Just leave a microphone like he's treating like Shakina. Yeah. Yeah, she ain't here right now. I'm doing all these jokes like Shakina.
I was going to say, so recognizing when you're in that zone, what are some strategies of moving out of that zone and back into that greatness and that genius of your organization?
If you had the same kind of win for months, you automatically should know, okay, I'm in zone. It's not going to be a negative attached to it. It could be running evenly smooth. So let's say this month you made 100,000, next 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 month you made 100,000, and you rinse and repeat. You got to say, damn, we got to change something for next year, because nothing stays the same. Nothing stays the same. So with this AI coming along, it's gonna be a huge challenge for us. Like, who are we in the face of AI? Not, man, this AI hating on. That's me trying to protect the zone of average. You're constantly trying to change and improve. Every day you ask yourself, what can we do better? What can we do better? What can I do better? What can I improve? If you constantly stay in that space of what can I do better, and almost every 2 months I come to your space, something has changed because you like, hey, I'm doing this better. Matter of fact, you ever heard me say the greatest return on your money is investing in your own business? If you're properly investing in your own business correctly, you're avoiding the zone of average. That's why I practice all the time. Because I practice, I can't get used to being the same because I'm already on to the next thing. So I will not let myself sit still. I will not let myself get comfortable. It's like, I don't want to be average. I must always push myself past that certain point. And I ain't talking about the extreme push, right? We ain't talking about like eat, sleep, and drink, work. No, hell, the fuck to no. I'm saying don't become entitled. Just don't become entitled. No matter what you're doing, don't become entitled. And no means your team say, we're the best today. Tomorrow we start over again, y'all. It's like, imagine you win a championship game and it's the first out of 7 and you go out, y'all into strip clubs, y'all drunk, y'all lit up, y'all partying like it's over. Y'all got champagne in the room, y'all wearing goggles. It's the first game, dog. Tomorrow's another game. They about to adjust. Where's your adjustment? Right? Like the market's gonna keep adjusting and you're still trying to play that same as like this. The triangle doesn't work the same no more, player. What are you doing? You go or you got a center in today's basketball. You got one dude just I'm gonna post. Y'all just give me the ball. Man, you about to get smashed.
3-pointer.
Yeah, 3-point. Like, come on, man. Like, think about it. When Stephen first came along, he was like, "What the hell is this? This is disruptive." Have y'all seen these latest teams now?
They all the Warriors.
Yap. The only reason Steph is in front of everybody else, one, is because he has permission to be in front of everybody else. That's his brand, right? And mind you, he's great. I'm not trying to take away his greatness. But I'm saying that if Steph's skills started today, we have to think about a lot of this differently because a lot of people are getting Jalen Brunson is a cold animal, man. I watched that cat play and I said, how is this little midget killing everybody like that? He is coldest midget I've ever seen. He should be like the midget flag. Anyway, let's go.
Social justice. Social justice.
Yeah, if he see you there, like, man, I'm just playing, bro. Calm down.
We hope things will magically improve. Of course, they rarely do. For example, staying in a relationship that is too good to leave and too bad to stay is a perfect example of the zone of average. If things were much worse, we would act, but since they're not terrible, we stay and hope things get better.
Your jobs, when you're stuck in zones of average. Relationships, friendships, zones of average. Even when I hire a vendor, I'm looking for a zone of average. You said, what? You hire a vendor? You know when you first hire a vendor, you're like, wow, I got a vendor. It's first time. Or you go to a salesperson, first person you met. So then you shape your standards around that person. A lot of times I will fire somebody to find a better service to raise my standards because I realize I got used to your low-ass performance. Or I go out and that's what travel's about. You go travel, you have conversations, you talk to people, you realize, I got used to going to a corner store getting this cheap-ass food and I have these options over here. And then I look around and I never fall in love with none of my vendors and none of my services because I'm not trying to develop comfort with the averages. Now, in a relationship or with a family, you got to keep investing you can't wait for holidays to move. Every day you got to wake up and say, what can I do? What can I participate? Some days just pick some shit up for your loved ones. Otherwise, guess what? Got an average ass relationship. Waiting for some dude who plays a guitar on a block and your wife's gonna go start joining Tybo and shit with him. Anyway, next slide.
Tybo, right?
He took him way back to Tybo.
Billy Blanks.
All right, so keep going. Double down when you're wrong. This is where we're gonna get to this doubling down when you're wrong. Let's keep going.
As the famous quote often
this is it.
As the famous quote often falsely attributed to Charles Darwin goes, it's not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent that survives. It is the one that is most adaptable to change. Even though it's a misquotation, it's not useless just because it's not Darwin.
All right, I'll teach y'all. This is a dope-ass lesson. And some of you may not be in life positioned properly to experience this, but hear me because this is golden what I'm about to share with you. Business is more about adapting than intelligence. But his is even doper. This next statement. When you get to a certain point of business, it is more about hypothesis development than your knowledge. Stay with me. If you don't know the future and competition is changing the game daily and you're trying to avoid the zone of average, how do you navigate that? It's almost like you got to be in a race with a ship, but the waters are always changing and the destination is always moving. You don't get to use comfortable, rational thinking. Rational thinking is comfortable. You got to live in a world of hypothesis development, testing, and then from the test, you develop your next strategy. You don't I was sitting with a brilliant, this brother, I think if he takes off in Oakland, I'm going to try to convince this brother to run for mayor. This brother is like, he got that East Coast rah-rah, but like very intelligent. He's like a brother could ride a Harley and write a book at Harvard at the same time. Like that perfect combination, right? So I was telling him, brother, I was like, he was like, yo, man, I just can't solve this strategy. I said, it's not meant for you to solve, bruh. That's not I'm giving you unlimited belief, right? It's not meant for you to solve. I said, because you have to build a system to solve this level of complexity. Your brain can't see no single problem. Stay with me, because this is what I'm saying right now. You have to go back and listen to what I'm explaining, because this is like aggressive, high-level scaling strategy I'm sharing with you. No single problem has a single point of causation. That sounds good for a barbershop, but there's no such thing. I have this problem, so this is the causation. It's multiple points of causation, especially the more complex the system. The more people involved, the more nodes involved. There's the points of causation are multiple, right? So your brain, at some point, is just not capable. Literally, this is why some races look amazing and some people look like whatever. Because it's not because one has more horsepower or one is more gifted. One has better designed systems. You with me? So when you get to a certain point of business and you're navigating into waters you've never been in before, you got to be able to put together a team, develop ideation process. Now, ideation is when a group of people get together and produce hypothesis, ideas. In order for that to work, everybody within that group can't be the same. Ideation won't work. Become an echo chamber. We just keep saying the same shit. So if you put a whole bunch of professors in the same field, economists in the same field, ask them to solve a problem, to the man with the hammer, everything's a nail. They're not solving shit. They may solve one of the branches of causation, but they won't see the variety of challenges, and they won't see their leveraging point. The key word is leveraging point. Leveraging point. If you want to impact a large system, you have to find the leveraging point. So, in order for you to see that, ideation with a diverse structure. Now, diverse doesn't mean skin color, doesn't mean gender, doesn't mean age, mean that we think all different. We have different stories, we come from different backgrounds, we see the world differently, right? Then when you bring that together, for every corner I can't see around, somebody group can. And through the group ideation process, now in order for the ideation process to work, watch this, stay with me because I'm giving you a recipe. In order for the ideation process to work, you must have grit. Fragility does not work because you have to argue for ideation to really surface rich hypothesis. If you're in a group and somebody's like, Nana, when you said you didn't really agree with my idea, I felt unsafe and I felt endangered and threatened. And so I talked to HR and they said that, no, there's no place for that. Get your ass up out of here. Right? If you ever go into .com environments, a healthy .com, because you can go to the extreme of the argument side and now somebody's abusive because they're using power, right? And I'll get into that in 1 second. But in a healthy .com or innovative company, they argue all the time. Because from the argument comes ideas that individually you can produce by yourself. Right? Now, if you're the powerful node in the group of ideation, you always speak last. Always speak last. Because the powerful node, if they speak first, they will create biases and everybody's really becoming an echo chamber of the strongest voice. Mm-hmm. So in the end, you can pose questions, but you got to almost be in tune with even your facial expressions. So if silence be like, yo, I think we should climb Mount Everest, I'll be like, nah, go ahead and speak, bro.
That don't work.
That ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Like, what? Oh no, go ahead, man. I'm trying to be open-minded. 2, now I'm giving you some more. If you have an introvert in the team, which by the way, introverts are powerful. So extroverts, we talk and think. Introverts can go by themselves and do what we can do while we're talking. That's their strength. So introverts, any introverts in this room, stop shrinking yourself. You have your gift, right? Because like Mashawn was an introvert, but in his brain, he could build a fucking city and come back to me. And to me, I have to talk through the city, and I can build it as I talk, right? But if I go home and think about it, my brain will be like, man, look, what about this? Okay, well, dude, shit, ooh, right? Like my brain it doesn't have. So one of the tricks is when a question is posed, get everybody to jot down their ideas on like small notes, right? Not alone, don't have to write no goddamn essays. Get them little sticky notes. Write down your ideas. This way, you make sure the introverts are included in the conversation because diversity has to exist to maximize innovation and your hypothesis development. But some of you are struggling not because you can't produce the system I just espoused to you. You're struggling because you think that you need to be the hero. And you can't. You can't be the fucking hero. Ain't that some cold shit? You can't be the hero. After a certain point of growth and development, you need a team. And you need a team that we all don't agree on the same shit. We don't all go to the same places. We don't all eat the same food. We don't all vote for the same person. If somebody in my office voted for Trump, somebody voted for Flower, and somebody voted for Biden, and somebody voted for my uncle, we all working together. Let's do it. But the reality is that these are things you've never been taught before because when you're not building anything, these are popular things, right? Oh, you need to know. Oh, I'm smarter than you. You're not smart as me. Oh, I went to this school. Well, you didn't went to that school. That shit don't matter once you start building. Mm-hmm. It's really about building a smart system that can offer you so many looks around so many different corners that you're able to build these rich hypotheses that allow you to build innovative velocity. Is that cool game? So the reason when y'all be like, oh, white supremacy, no, you mean white systems? They just build systems. They're not supreme. Ain't no such thing as a supreme race. It's a group that builds structure becomes supreme. But now when they turn around and brand it, they brand it as, Steve Jobs and Apple. No, Apple and Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was a figurehead. He managed a flow of energy, right? He challenged certain ideas. He created friction. But you can do all that shit with dumb people or bad systems and nothing happens. So those people that surrounded him, like he didn't build, he didn't like polish glass and no shit. He didn't make no transistors and processors and keyboards and mouses. He was part of the diversity, and because he's a figurehead, we structured a story to make him seem like he's the man, and everything came through him. There's no such thing. Look at all your great historical leaders. Think about any leader you ever known in history. Go back and read their books and watch them articulate the structure they had around themselves. And yet you would be so romanticized by them, you won't even see the structure. Is that shit cold? That's so much game. Trust me, if you learn this game now, you'll be able to solve any fucking problem in society. Some problems are not meant for you to solve. It's okay. There's some problems. When I walk in the office, I used to get anxiety. Like a problem would land on my desk. I'm going to solve that. And I realized, what the fuck you mean how you going to solve that? Go to the team. What the fuck you got a team around you for? And when I sit down with the team and say, hey, team, here's a problem we're facing. Here's a challenge. I want to hear some of your thoughts and ideas. Right? I said, so let's do this. And then we go through the process. And then I say, well, this is what I was thinking. And then because the other idea caught inertia, listen to the word. It caught inertia. Remember, what moves, if something moves, what's in motion stays in motion. And what's not in motion, it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It's shit. It's inertia.
Still, yeah.
Yeah.
Stay
You
still,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Move it or don't move it. You know what I'm saying? but inertia, right? So I get the inertia amongst the group. So now the group is now also enough energy to subdue me. To the point I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, let's try it. And usually we get like 2 or 3 hypotheses and we start testing based upon that. And then as we test, we learn, we adjust, We learn, we adjust, we're successful. We learn, we adjust, we're successful. We're not smart. Oh my God, I know the way to change the world. Throw the idea out there and it works. That's for your new business. That's for anything you're doing. You learn, you test your hypothesis, you adjust. You test your hypothesis, you adjust. Now you start to catch some momentum. Then once you catch momentum, stay with me. Now you rinse and repeating. Give it a small season, maybe a year. How can we improve the system? How do we become an iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 4? You don't say we got the first iPhone, everybody loves us, baby. We might as well be like, what did BlackBerry do? We BlackBerry, baby. What do we need to change for? Screen, who want to touch them long ass screens? They need these keyboards. Ha ha ha! That dude done.
Wop, 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 wop.
They're not like us. So go ahead. Next sentence.
When circumstances change, we need to adapt, but inertia closes minds and stifles the motivation to change how we've been doing.
Okay, so this is another level of strategy. This is strategy. I'm taking this. I know he didn't write this with this much strategy, but because the level of stuff I'm working on, this book is so great because it's giving you a great foundation for, if you get this foundation, then as you learn these more advanced strategies, you realize they built on this foundation. Have you ever been in an office and announced what you want to do, and you almost can't hear all the signs of why you shouldn't be doing it because you're so committed to doing it? Okay, let me help y'all, because some of y'all might be too cerebral to hear what I just said. Professor X up in this motherfucker. Okay, have you ever saw something you wanted to buy really, really bad, and somehow you can read any bad data onto it until the third month after you had it? Mm-hmm. Have you ever said, this is who I am, this is what I plan on doing, or this is my personality, and because, watch this, you have a need for consistency. Stay with me. We have a need. It's so cold because it's a line, it's a space you can play between. Human beings have a deep need for consistency. Well, hey man, you did this. Watch me manipulate you. Well, if you're like this and like this, obviously you do that. Because you have a need for consistency, I just use that against you. That's inertia. And you'll do it knowing, I don't know if I should be doing this shit, but I'm known to be this kind of person and I don't want to be inconsistent in life. Now, let me warn you, if you don't have high values and morals, leave this space alone. Because once you realize that a lot of choices you're making is just pure desire to be consistent and inertia, and you can break them at any time. I've had my team even say, well, I think Tennille talked to me the other day about something. I was like, I don't really give a shit. I can change, I can turn right, turn left just that sharply and be like, what the fuck? Because if things out here changed, I don't get caught up in my inertia to still go this way because that's who I am. Some of y'all are social justice not because you don't even know if that shit's true or not. If I say, okay, let me get the data from social justice and your beliefs. Let me get the insights. Let me get your historical context. Let me see where the material that you're pulling from for social justice. Most of you be like, oh shit, son, I ain't got nothing for you. It's all inertia. I'm a Democrat. Inertia. You know what? We're gonna expand our business and we're gonna have to move soon. And moving, you may find out data. There may be data that says not right now, 2 more years, but you're gonna still spend that money because of what? Inertia. I need to buy. We moved to our new space. So I first walked in, and me and Mashawn was dreaming. Okay, I want all glass to separate the space, right? So I want 1,700 feet on this side, 1,700 feet on this side, glass. Let's do this. And I want to have these vines and stuff like. I'm going through all this stuff in my mind. So numbers start coming in. And I started looking at the also, wait a minute, everybody, all these businesses closing. Hold the fuck up. And 3, okay, we're revving up, so I need to make sure I have money for this rev up, because I might need to hire more people, so throwing a lot of money to the side. Guess how much my bill was going to be? $172,000. Now it's down to about 40 now. I know I'm probably going to hit 60 to 80, right? But the thing is that I also, when Mashama calls me, oh, we should do this. Inertia. We're not doing that right now. If you don't have the ability to control inertia, you're not running your company. Because inertia has to be able to tell your whole team, stop, we're going that way now. Stop, we're going back. Stop, we're not going to do shit. Stop, we're going to attack as hard as we can. If you don't have the ability, and your team, and here's the thing, your staff won't get inertia. You got to get it. Inertia is, but it feels so good. Why would we not do this? Your kids will create inertia. Your wife will create, your husband, you'll create inertia. Babe, we've been together for 17 years. We got to do this. Oh, these friends of ours getting married. I don't give a fuck. I ain't seen them motherfuckers in 3 years. Just tell them I'm sick. Shit, I'm out. Inertia. But your desire to be consistent, but yet, watch this. I can avoid inertia, but still protect things like relationships, family, community, being morally consistent. But can I break my consistency? Yes, I can. If I had to. If I had to. Touch my daughter. You will see immoral behavior you've never seen before. You'd be like, I didn't know he knew those words. So if you guys get on with this, like inertia is this trap that you're in that it feels like you're in a river and life is pushing you down. And until you learn to navigate and fight the current, you don't control your life. That current is called inertia. Is that shit cold? Y'all getting me? Is this clicking? Or does it make sense to y'all? This shit is so cold. You're gonna feel it too when somebody throws it in front of you. You feel like, yeah, I guess I gotta do that. And then say to yourself, no, I don't. What other option? Because what happens is, okay, so when inertia hits, your brain goes binary. It sees A or B. It doesn't see C, D, E, F, G, A, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 are no numbers at all. It just sees these two that's how somebody can get you every time. We're gonna do this or that. And you're like, oh shit, okay. All right, we can do this. I ain't doing shit. So let me tell you how I avoid all this. So one of my tricks for inertia, I give you a couple. One is, if whatever I'm doing is not working for me, I will dump it. I'm not committed to anything. I mean, I'm talking about, not my family is one thing, but even if my family say my daughter got older and she was a dope dealer, it's been nice. We had a wonderful time. I'm out. Audi 5000 G. I'm not about to say, well, if my daughter died, even though she's a queen pin, I need to go out with her. No, I don't. It's going to be unfortunate. I'll be reading about it in the Wall Street Journal. 2, here's a trick. When you feel inertia, just say this: I don't know what that means. It frees you. Somebody says, hey, you should do this. I don't know what that means. What do you mean I don't know what that means? I don't know what that means. Why would I need to do that? Why? Why are you saying that? When people talk to me in car dealership and people trying to sell me something, I don't know what that means, bro. I don't know what that means. Because if I try to make sense of it, I'm going to fall into inertia. I don't know what that means. Because you just made some shit up. I didn't. When I woke up this morning, I wasn't thinking about that. So now you trying to change my schedule because you're trying to bring some inertia to me. I don't know what that means. I use that shit so much that I'm the king of, I don't know what that means. Somebody can go through a long ass soliloquy and I'm like, I don't know what that means. My auntie raised me in East Oakland. I came through everything I've done and life has been crazy for me. My whole life has been a challenge. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't fucking know what that means.
Fatality.
But trust me, because people try to play on your moral. Because like Pastor Chris probably goes to probably more inertia attacks than anybody in the world. As a pastor, you're supposed. I don't know what that means, bro. Because I know that you're gamifying me, and I know, and it's not intentional. Most people are not intentionally ever coming for other people. They're just trying to gain something, and you're the access point for what they want. Simple. All right, we finished that one? Oh, did we finish that one?
No, we're at the last.
Okay, go ahead. Let's get the last sentence.
It makes it harder to imagine alternative methods and discourages experimentation and course correction.
Read that sentence one more time so you guys can hear what I just showed you guys. It says,
it makes it harder to imagine alternative
You can't see, so watch this. Optionality gone. Remember, in business, to be a great strategist, you have to have optionality, right? A and B doesn't work. Binary thinking doesn't work. You have to be able to see options, right? So if you get caught in this inertia here, where you're not adapting, you get caught up in these stories you tell yourself, this is who I am, or what other people, this need for consistency, right? that means you're not strategical. Let's just make it simple. You're not strategical. You can use that word strategy all you want. You're not. In order for you to be, strategy is not what you learn. Strategy is how you think. I can teach you 1,000 strategies, but when you get emotional hit, you're only gonna see A, B. How do you think? When something comes in your room, if this building started shaking from an earthquake, pay attention to what you did. That tells you who you were. Mm-hmm. Did you just and jump underneath the table and say, "Save yourselves"? Did you run out the door on the first shake and then while everybody's outside, y'all okay? Like, how do you move, right? Because you gotta know yourself to use these tools. You're not strategical if a nurse is constantly driving your decision making. You can be strategic. You know what you sound like? You sound like a fan who watched sports. Who can tell you what they would do if they were in a game. And if you put them in the middle of a football field, they all tuck down like this. Oh God, oh God. Right? Like, this cat's so damn fast. Oh God. Right? And the reason for that is because strategical thinking is a way of thinking. It is not running all these different strategies. And if you don't develop that form of thinking, so okay, once you develop a strategical way of being, then the strategies get plugged in and go to work right away. But if you don't have that way of being, you will see all your mistakes in hindsight. Oh, damn, I should have, if I was there before. So you got to get your mind in a space where you're saying, I'm not loyal to these stories. I move in some kind of way. I'm always curious. As much knowledge as I have, it's never going to be enough. And yet my value cannot be determined by you. I will never allow you to determine my value. Never. Never. Once you let somebody outside determine your value, then your knowledge is used against you. You say, what do you mean, Nana? Because now you're over leveraging knowledge as value. But once you have a sense of, I am great, then what happens is that now you're able to play with knowledge and inertia and tools and strategy and all these other things. And you're able to move between the lines and dance in between these spaces. And even when you don't have the words to articulate your strategy, you can feel it. You can sense it. You move that way. You see where I'm going with this? So this whole idea that knowledge and strategy is X's and O's, no. It's the way you move, because life is not binary 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And you got to figure out the 1, 2 to get yourself in. It doesn't work that way. It's shit gonna come at you. You ain't never existed before. How do you move in that space? How do you decode it? How do you see the patterns? How do you just close your eyes and just move through it because you're just like, okay, I know exactly where I need to be. As opposed to, okay, I gotta do this for this person. I gotta take care of this. I gotta do this for this person. I gotta move for this. I gotta respond to this. I gotta show for this. And before you know, your whole month has went by, and guess what? You ain't did shit. You might as well just lay in your bed every day depressed. It's the same fucking thing. Until you can start saying, fuck you, and fuck you. None of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. So finish that sentence. Says, it makes it hard to imagine alternatives, methods. It discourages experiments. How do you experiment when you always got some shit to do? How do you experiment when you got pressure to always do other shit based upon other people's expectations? How do you do shit? How do you experiment when you're just trying to live out a story and finish the story? You're not even giving yourself a chance to say, maybe the story doesn't work. Maybe I have 1,000. I'm African American, African in America, right? I'm African in America. African American sounds like an oxymoron. I don't know how the shit that work. I enslaved myself. Doesn't make sense. Anyway, African in America. But when I go to Africa, there's a whole bunch of ways of thinking. And they're African, right? You see where I'm going with this? That means a land of 500 million people with all these different stories, and I only got one? Man, if you don't flip them motherfucking stories like a cereal and you get all kind of surprises, new story. Look here, girl, tricks are for kids. And then the last one, imagine alternatives, discourage experiments, and course correction. When you're living a story, you are stuck on a course. Okay, black people, my Latino folks, my Asian folks, my poor white folks, excuse myself for my Jewish partners. If you're like, damn, I feel like, my community is broke and I'm broke, you realize you're stuck on a course, right? You're stuck on a course. The course don't require you to be on it. If you did tomorrow, that course is still gonna be there for somebody else. You stuck on a course. The course is just a choice. Once you decide I don't want to be on that course anymore, guess what you have? You just changed your life and changed your options and changed your experiences. But you can't course correct if you're always falling victim to what? Inertia. Ain't that shit cold? You live your life to be consistent to all these stories you told, and you live your life to these announcements you made to society, these promises, these poor, pathetic ass promises, this idea of I am this, these rigid stories, and now you're stuck in inertia of a life that you could have changed a long motherfucking time ago, but you can't because you feel some kind of way about being inconsistent to what you believe. And if you talk like this in the public, they think you pimping. You're not pimping. You have ownership of your choices. Even when you believe this idea, as black people, we can or can't. A long time ago, I told myself, white dude's just a dude. He's positioned in many places better than me, but a lot of white people are not better than me, positioned no better than me. So if the average white person is born in this country and think they could be anything they want, why would I not believe that? Or am I stuck on a course and I can't make a course correction because I'm under the inertia of the labels that's been given to me?
You got a question online?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. This one was a while back. I was talking about AI, but Kaja was asking what happens if or when you have to show up in person and speak to what you're allowed AI to formulate for you. Do you know it less because you've defaulted to the technology? So basically, like, what if you had to speak more on what you organize, like when you're talking about like when you organize your stuff into the Chat GPT for them to like.
No, I own the knowledge.
Yeah.
I own the knowledge. AI is not replacing the knowledge.
Yeah.
AI is replacing the grunt work.
Yeah.
I don't have to do grunt work. You remember when you had to write something and send to 3 or 4 people and you guys keep editing? Okay, AI said, man, cut that shit out. You remember when, okay, for example, my AI glasses, I was telling Mashama. So right now I can tell my glasses, what am I looking at? Where can I go buy this at? Right? How do I make this? How many calories is what I'm looking at right now? Right?
No.
So imagine in the future, Yapasua says, I want to work on old 67 Ford Mustangs. He looks at the part in his car and says, how do I repair this problem here? And his glasses literally talks to him through the process. Okay, you're torquing it a little bit too much. Let me take a look at it. Okay, that looks about fine. Get your torque gun. Is it at 65? Okay, now move on to this next. Like literally hold your hand, training you to be a mechanic. Any hobby you choose, choose, right? The problem is that we think the lower level of our intelligence is the greatest. That's the basis of this story I'm telling right now, which is your knowledge has been for people who come from communities who have been oppressed or have been working class. Our knowledge has been weaponized against us. Your greatest knowledge is your thinking. I just told you strategy doesn't come from knowing X's and O's. Let AI do that shit. That's ridiculous. But if you don't have if you're not a strategical person, then strategy is useless to you. You can talk about it in conversations at a coffee bar, at a barbershop, make yourself sound impressive. But until you learn to move strategically and think strategically and feel strategically and be able to interchange parts and move parts and change the world. Remember a long time ago, or 3 years ago, I used to say, it's crazy the world's like clay to me now. That was my announcement of my strategy. I was telling you like everything's changeable to me. Everything's changeable to me. Nothing to me is the way it is. And once I realized that power I had, now when I get strategy, Mashama could tell you, and Mashama's gained the same power. We could be sitting together and be like, we get all the boxes checked and go, something's wrong. You'd be like, what the fuck, all the boxes checked? Yeah. But I think contextually, if we just change this whole system and put it over here, would it have the same value? Oh. Like because inertia says, you see the boxes being checked, you're excited, right? You believe in it. Inertia's kicking in. We gotta go to the next level. And then I'd be like, stop. Nah, I don't have that kind of, I can break that inertia. I am a victim of inertia. But when I sense it, I can even make a choice whether I want to make it positive or, because inertia is also a superpower tool to make yourself do things you don't want to do. So you got to learn to weaponize inertia for you as opposed to inertia being weaponized against you. Just code. Next slide.
We got some more questions.
Okay, no question.
One is, what about being comfortable with change? If you can pivot with no problem, is that inertia? It can be seen as flaky or inconsistent, even if you can defend.
Yeah, but even feeling flaky and inconsistent, that's the power of inertia. When you can move in the space of inertia, it's almost like you sit in a different conscious space. Like if I'm changing because I'm trying to avoid responsibility or I'm scared, you gotta be so in tune with yourself. Because sometimes you can try to use an excuse. Oh, you know what? I'm avoiding inertia. That's why I didn't show up to work tomorrow. Okay, boy, if you don't sit your dumb ass down, right? That's not what we said, right? Inertia is you're reading the data and you're making a call and you're reading the data, and as you're traveling through space, imagine you're in a spaceship, you're traveling through space, and as you get closer to where you're trying to go to, you start to see, oh shit, there's danger close to my destination. Do you continue to sail the same way? Or do you take the belief of the science that agrees that if you just go this one way and you believe that you got to get there by this amount of time, and you believe that this is the best path because you did all the research and you believe in yourself and you heard from your peers is how everybody else's went, and kill yourself, right? Or do you make adjustments on the call that will disrupt the team, disrupt everybody, but it's because it's a calculated decision? And like politics, I think this is about to come up. Politicians, we demonize them for flip-flopping. No, reframe that. They're learning and adjusting. How in the fuck you running for office and you can see all the complexities of the office that you haven't gotten into yet? You gotta change once you get there. You gotta be able to get there and be like, oh shit, okay, my bad. Wall, huh? Okay, how about we just build a fence? Huh? We gonna build a fence? We good with the fence? Oh, no fence. Okay, all right. We gonna just build a creek, a little small creek, just little water so their feet get wet. Do we identify by no water either? That's kind of okay. All right, we're gonna work on something. Right? Like literally, you can't. And so we demonize them, but we don't realize, no, you gotta flip flop if you're a leader. Because as you learn more, you should do different. You can't do the same. I don't care. And you see this all the time. I promise you're going to see this amongst a lot of people who call themselves leaders. I'm going to be stern in the way I'm going. Bruh. Martin Luther King would have did it this way. The variables don't exist no more. What the fuck are you doing the same way for? You over there marching on Selma by yourself. Police at the door shout, that boy out there marching by himself. God damn. Like, the variables have to be the same. Go ahead.
I'm having a contradicting thought between, especially when we talk about this politician stuff, because I was trying to follow that, and something that wasn't clicking. I feel like we don't trust them because of the integrity of saying I'm going to do something.
It's branding and language. If you don't trust me, I didn't frame it right. I can take your distrust. Okay. If I went into office for Oakland, right, and I say, hey y'all, I'm in crime in 6 months, and say I just didn't know the complexities of it, and came in the office and say, hey, listen y'all, I'm here. Here's our challenges. The challenge is way greater than I even experienced. I didn't know we could reach this point as a politician. Vulnerability, right? There's certain things we can do as a politician, but we have to be able to articulate. Did anybody lose faith in court when he gave you his vulnerability? Anybody? Okay, Tennille, except outside Tennille lose faith in you if your colors are wrong. But outside Tennille, your trust in somebody is a complete brand. It's not just flip-flopping. If your brand it's how you change your story, right? It's how you move, right? I'm sure you've seen people in society who said, hey, I learned something different. We're not going that way no more. I think if you go back to, when I was young, I used to follow Farrakhan. And I remember Farrakhan was fiery, right? He was just like, kill the devil. And then his last 30 years, he didn't really say that much. Because I think he learned some stuff which might say, hey, I'm assuming, I don't even know what he learned, but I'm just saying, what if he learned at that point, oh shit, by me espousing this level of anger, I'm making my soldiers so angry that they can't even collaborate. Right? So at the end of the day, I got to reframe this so I can protect the mental health of my soldiers to achieve the goals we're trying to achieve. So maybe I have to reframe or restructure that. And now all the people that fell in love with me saying that, I got to be able to let you go and let you come back to me another way. Right? But I can't continue to maintain that way because I want to protect. Like at the end of the day, I got to say as a politician, this is a branding game. It's a distortion game. But you get to a point where if you tell a politician they can't change, they got to stay the same, that's a false judgment on our behalf. There's no such thing. That's because we're still operating in a very elementary model that says in order for somebody to have integrity, you have to always be the same. That's not true. It's not true. If in my lifetime, if I raised a strong family, a strong community member, and I built a strong business, and I changed the high school, and I improved many people's lives, but I flip-flop as I learned more, did it matter? Mm-hmm. Or do we measure ourselves by the flip-flop and not pay attention to the things, our outcome? Which one matters? And it's impossible. It's impossible to stay that you're a trash leader if you're not changing all the time. You're a trash leader. Like, I don't want no leader that walks in my life and be like, well, this is who the fuck I am. Y'all got to get with, I'm a boss. This is what I do. Don't want to fuck with me. Get the fuck out of here. You should always be in evolution. Always, because, just by natural evolution of aging, I don't believe the same shit. Mm-hmm. I've changed in your lifetime. Like, it's like a lot of shit I may have talked to you about 10 years ago. I'm already like, you may bring it up like, yeah, I said that. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I ain't there no more. That's all I got for you. I can't even dispute it. I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Shit, damn, okay. Right on, shit. Next slide. We're almost done, y'all. Go ahead. For instance.
Oh, my bad. I was waiting to hear Shabisha. I was like, oh wait, it's me. Yeah,
I know Shabisha back next week. Yeah, I know we all, like his deep ass voice. Like, damn, that's kind of different, man. I don't know sometimes that Shabisha voice
I love
works.
him and everything, but I miss Shabisha.
Yeah, I miss my Shabisha, man. Her voice.
Forget
is
y'all.
no, I'm saying, you cool. We like you and all, but if the day I start telling your voice sounds sweet to me, we got a problem. Anyway, go ahead. Okay.
Yeah, they caught up in the consistency.
Just read.
You gonna get this inertia.
I bet you it was a recipe you been to finish this damn sentence. Go get you read.
Oh, that's what we doing?
No,
okay, I got the mic now.
I just playing, man. Come on, man. Come on.
All right. You dropped your cane. Anyway, for instance, public. You about to be 57 this year? That's crazy. Anyway, for instance.
But you know what's so crazy? I'm 57, but you look like it. But anyway, go ahead. We can do this, bro. We can do this. I'm not going to stop this one, man. Come on, man.
All right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is lame. Look here. I started like lining up my AI jokes real fast, so he start talking because I know he's got jokes. Go ahead.
For instance, public statements can create inertia.
There you go. Public statements. Yo, everybody, this is who I am now. You just created inertia. I belong to this group, inertia. Go online. Hey, everybody, just want to share this with y'all, inertia. I'm not sharing shit. Have y'all seen my Facebook lately? I come on Facebook maybe once every 6 months. It's, hey, everybody good? Okay, bye. I only get 90% of why? Because I need to be able to pivot and move. As I started scaling, I realized I couldn't be normal no more. Once you decide to scale, you cannot be normal no more. Trying to be normal is an inertia. That's an inertia. I just want to be normal. What the fuck is that? What is that? In a world of 8 billion people, are you like 8 billion people? No. So what the fuck is that? Who are you? Matter of fact, some of you guys are so gifted, but don't know you're gifted because you're stuck in the normal inertia. Super gifted. Now I'm an introvert and I just want to stay home and read all the time and and I'm dyslexic, so a lot of times I just write a lot just to kind of get around it. Motherfucker, you a genius. But you're stuck in but I'm not like everybody else. I don't give a fuck about everybody else. Because once you decide to scale, you will no longer. Once you become an entrepreneur, just say bye to everybody else. Those days are over. Don't go to a party and try to dance like everybody else. You don't. Don't try to act like you're the life of party. You're not. You'll be a life of party and start getting hella deep. People like, land the plane. That's how this shit works. Go ahead.
Putting something on the record establishes expectations along with social pressure to meet those expectations.
Be careful with fucking labels. We work with the gay community in San Francisco a lot. Gay community is a whole bunch. It's diverse as fuck. There ain't no one such thing as gay community. They're all over the place. There's all kind of personalities. In the black community, it's all kind of personalities. In the white community, it's all kind of personalities. In the Asian community, it's all. Matter of fact, okay, how do you stereotype somebody from Asia? It's impossible. The population is too large. It's the dumbest stereotype you can ever, in Asia, you can't say anything after that. In Asia is land. That's all you can say. Latin folks, they all over the place. So, okay, they all over the place. Why are you not? Why don't you give yourself the freedom to move sometimes? Why do you have to be such a narrow definition? Stay with me. You are trapped in inertia. You may live your whole life filling out a story that when your life is over or you get older and you finally kind of shake the inertia off, you realize you lost your life to a story. That shit cold is crazy. Some of you are going to destroy your business because you can't change the story. You'll put fancy words around it and use big language, have the glossary of the universe to surround your idea, and it's really nothing but inertia. That shit cold, ain't it? Finish this one, come on.
When new information challenges one of our statements, we might instinctively dismiss it and emphasize the old information that supported it.
So when you're in inertia, as you're being exposed to new knowledge, in your brain, you're sitting in this class and you're debating this whole time. You're not debating because you're really evaluating, or you're going to go home and research it, or you're going to kind of just play with the idea. You're stuck in inertia, which means I'm not willing to even change anything, because some of y'all will take 5 years before you say, oh, no, I finally heard you. And the cool part, here's a funny person. This is the hindsight. This inertia. This is a person telling you they had inertia after they healed. How come nobody ever told me this before? Hella people told you, but you was stuck in inertia. And when you heard it, you reframed it. You said something different. Oh, they tripping. You even judge. Oh, he fat, ugly, and short. He can't tell me shit. Am I lying? You discredit people just so you can. Oh, he's too feminine for me to be listening to. Mm-hmm. What? I don't give a shit what you are. Is that knowledge? Let me get that. Let me get that knowledge real quick. Right. I'm not loyal to none of this shit. Let me go. But inertia will have you where you are focusing on everything that reinforces your idea, which means that you can't, when you're traveling, you're still in Oakland on your block.
Oh,
that's inertia.
that's crazy right there.
Motherfuckers go to Greece talking about, y'all got some burgers and fries? Oh my God, sit this motherfucker down somewhere. I've heard that story.
That's so real.
Yeah, I've heard that story before. My girl Therese told me that she went with some friends and they didn't want to eat nothing besides burgers and fries in Greece. Motherfucker, what? Keep going.
We want to be consistent with what we said. Changing our minds becomes increasingly difficult.
Wait. We want to be consistent with what? With what?
With what we said.
What we said. You want to be consistent with what you said? No, okay. It's not God came to you and you had 2 rocks in your hand. These 2 rocks you want to because you want to throw a brick through somebody's wall. You got like, stop! I got a commandment for you. You just, shh. You're like, oh, God told me. I don't know what state of mind you was in. I don't know how limited your attention was. I don't know the development of your education. But you said some shit when you were 7, 9, 12, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 30, 40, 50, 60, and you can't break the inertia because you announced that's who I am. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all, we might used to say back, I said this 2 years ago, that some of us are being consulted by a 7-year-old. Our 7-year-old version of us is giving us consultation. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you what we should do. We shouldn't even fuck with them. You know what I told you, since you were 7, we don't fuck with people like that. 7? You be like, yeah, dog. Yeah. And then some of y'all go cold. Y'all join a group that's stuck in inertia. You know, in this group, we don't fuck with this kind of stuff. You are fucking yourself. And you don't realize that shit is inertia is something you don't play with. You don't play with it. Once you learn to avoid it, you realize, oh, no. You gotta learn to, because you're never going to avoid inertia. You just gotta know how to engage and disengage it. Engage and disengage it. When to use it. So for example, I use inertia for my dieting. I use inertia for my weightlifting. I use inertia for being a good father. So I know I have the capabilities of doing some shit. Some shit. I could get lost in Atlanta. Where is Nana? He's lost in Atlanta again. God damn it, somebody go get him. But instead, it's like, no, I make certain announcements. I'm coming home tonight. Okay, keep it moving because they're going to keep me talking shit. Okay, go ahead.
We witness how.
Wait, we said changing our minds become increasingly difficult. Okay, we witness. Right, go ahead.
We witness how, say, people label a politician a flip-flopper instead of intelligent when they change their position in response to the facts. And our fear of the social implications of changing our minds continues to grow.
So watch this. Think about what your comment was, how it's also made you uncomfortable. So as you think flip-floppers are shameful or had a discomfort with them, does that mean that now you create inertia not to change your mind when you could be perceived as the same, less trustworthy? I'm saying, okay, for example, I'm saying that you said most people when they see somebody flip-flopping, they're not seen as trustworthy, right? So that's identity that is there, right? So then if you're in a situation where you got to change your mind, but it could be seen as like a trustworthy, can you make that move? Like if you ever see a CEO, all CEOs don't go in a company and just run into it smoothly. Something will just break the whole fucking thing. And if you happen to be an employee and you happen to list that employee will make it sound like Armageddon just landed and Satan was the author of it, right? And then 5 years from now, Tim Cook, they're worth $2 trillion. Makes no sense in the time, right? Tim Cook broke the inertia of Steve Jobs. Did you see all the heat he got when he first changed those things? He's still getting heat to this day. But Apple numbers are... So when you're loyal to the inertia by the public that you're serving, you can stop serving the public. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that some shit? Make you feel like you on crack when we talking like this, huh?
I want to add two things to that. One, I definitely am a firm believer of somebody having the right to change their mind. I think a lot of times somebody says something and then 2 years later on we want to say, oh, you said this thing 2 years ago. And it's like, well, people do learn. You get new information. You do you do have the right to change your mind and think about something differently. Back to the...
By the way, that's one of the moments I was like, I don't know what that means. I wouldn't say I have the right to change my mind. But like, yeah, you change your mind. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Because I'm trying to say I'm not going to even play with that energy that you're trying to give to me because it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Right.
I will always change my mind. If it bothers you that much, it's your challenge, not mine. So I don't know what's going on with your life. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah. The other part was it was the I think it was more of the definition of integrity versus the example that was given is what I was kind of...
Right. But have we tied integrity to change?
Have we tied integrity to change?
There's a difference between impulsive changes because I'm not taking responsibility, as opposed to responsible changes based upon new discoveries. But to the outside judging and the pressure of the crowd and the herd, because we were herd animals, we will always refer to the herd does impact us, right? So the herd starts to say, dude, Yabasu, you're always changing. Well, my first strategy was trash. And every time you see me change, I'm growing. And you built dependency on me doing that. Yet it yielded me no money, nor did it yield you. So why does it matter to either one of us? So I'm saying is that as opposed to, hey, man, you want to help me cut the grass tomorrow? Yeah, I'll be there. Saturday morning. Oh, man, Grass? I forgot to tell you, I don't like grass. Like that's integrity.
Okay.
Right? So there's a difference between I'm changing strategically, because when you drive your company, as an individual, so rationality works really, really well one-to-one. It works really, really well. Right? Even our emotions, no matter how much we complain about our emotions, they work really fucking well as human beings, right? But rationality doesn't work really, really well as a main tool as you grow. You got to have it. It is one of the tools, but it's not the dominant tool that we use in our day-to-day. Like if you live in the hood and you get going back and forth to work every day, and you use smart thinking and navigate stuff and build friends and have partnerships and protect your house, that stuff works really, really well. Build a company, that shit's killing you. So the things we pride ourselves in the hood, common sense, intelligence, smart. Okay, have you guys ever noticed the hood philosopher, conscious folks, right? See, brother, what I've come to recognize is when the universe was first formed, you see. Now, first of all, everything they're saying, what the fuck are you talking about, right? But because we value knowledge so much and it sounds so good to our ears, be like, oh yeah, Brother Ubu is hella smart. Really? Really, he's smart? And he have a whole bunch of little young sisters, 16, 18 years of age. Oh, Brother Ubu, we come, like, what's the dude from Atlanta that got caught up? Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Nature Boy, you anybody heard Nature Boy speak before?
Yeah.
Crazy can fucking, all you have to do is, because we're such victims of our own knowledge. Because when you don't feel like you're good enough, I can use knowledge against you. That's why when I sit in a room with somebody and somebody's talking, I go straight to numbers. That's my father taught me that at a young age. And if I don't see shit adding up quick, I'm like, man, that's hella deep, bro. Look here, man. I gotta go home and make me some oatmeal. I gotta get out of here. I'm done. What I don't do is sit there and be like, yeah. Let me add to what you're saying. Let me build. I'm not doing no cipher with you. That's a story that was told during hip hop. What the fuck is a cipher? A cipher should have been an ideation system that was never developed or correctly explained to us. So we just think cipher is just all us just throwing out ideas, but really echo chambers. Because if you start saying something different in a circle, we'd be like, man, get your ass out here. We talking about what Islam told us as a cipher, as I forgot what they call the Islam that don't have to follow the rules. They call them 5%ers. 5%ers. Yeah. Right? That's 5% sounds so intelligent, talking loud but saying nothing. James Brown. Finish this one?
I think so. I finished it.
Okay.
When they change their position in response to the facts and are
Okay, just go to the next slide. If I want to do that one, I'm just gonna go home.
We got some more questions too.
Oh, as long as we avoid the hard things. Okay, this is good. Let's close out on this. This is good.
All right.
Let's go.
Inertia also prevents us from doing hard things.
Pause, bro. Come on, man. Keep it clean, man. Come on.
You wrote it.
Dude, I mean, come on, man. We come to class. You can't wait to see. Can we do the slide? No, it's just stay focused, man. Jesus.
My B. I forgot where I was at.
Doing things that are difficult, brother. Just change the language to save us, man. Come on. The longer we avoid the hard. Come on, bro.
Inertia also prevents us from doing very difficult things.
There you go.
The longer we avoid the difficult thing, we know we should do the difficult, the more difficult it becomes to do. Avoiding conflict is comfortable and easy.
Laziness, low performance, average performance, high performance, and all versions of performance, your consistency is an inertia. This is why if you ever start working out and you really want to take working out serious, what matters most first is consistency to build inertia, then intensity. If you focus on intensity first, a lot of times, like when me and Silence, we started working out in the beginning, he focused on intensity. He didn't last long on the cycling because intensity he was having these surges of like, oh, I'm driving really, really difficult, but he hadn't built inertia. So when something said, change your schedule, change my schedule. He had no inertia. But when you have inertia, like with my workouts, you might know about my cycling and my workout, try and stop me from working out on those days. I'm not. I have inertia now, right? So as you build habits, but also the more you say, I'm about to, the longer you wait, the more difficult it's going to be. Shit, the inertia is a bitch. Keep going.
The longer we avoid the conflict, however, the more necessary it becomes to continue avoiding it.
So one thing my wife talks about me all the time, when I have a problem with you, I call you right away and tell you. I don't hold nothing on. Like if you irritated me, absolutely, you'll get that phone call so fast. Meanwhile, I be like, I come home like, damn, Yapasuda got me fucked up. He did A, B, and C. I'm gonna give him a call. Yapasuda, what's up with that, man? You did this shit. What was going on with you? Why? Because if I hold stuff in, I can build a nasty relationship with you that's driven by inertia from the things I didn't say. I don't avoid shit. I release that shit as fast. I don't want to start feeling uncomfortable inside. It's not because I'm uncomfortable inside because you're doing more wrong than me. It's because inertia is trying to drive this discomfort in me because I'm holding things in. I release shit so fast. I say what I mean. I'm in a room with people. I remember I was talking to a big contract of mine, really big contract, really like almost $1 million contract. Guy's talking to me. He's like, yeah, you know, in DEI. I said, by the way, man, I don't really care. He looked at me like, I don't care about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I said, I care, but I don't care. I said, because all the methodologies suck. They're projected onto our cultures. They're not listening or aligning with our inference or decoding our culture to see where we are in our process of it. Because diversity, equity, and inclusion can't be given to you. Let me just give it to you. It can't be given to you. Can't. It's not possible. Anybody want to challenge that? Anybody? It's not possible. How do white people, okay, so let's say white men have diversity, equity, and inclusion for them. Does it just stay there? Did I just tell you guys that the averages, what would happen? Zone of averages. They would lose it. Meaning that diversity, equity, and inclusion is a rhythm. If you don't move that rhythm, if I gave you $1 million, you'll move in that rhythm, you won't have $1 million. If I gave you a building, you'll move that, you won't have that building. If I gave you a city, you won't have that city. How the fuck do I give you inertia to take care of yourself? It's a false. So remember I said a couple weeks ago, we're free people. All we need to do is get the fuck out the way. Go have some friction resistance because that's the path we travel. If I decide I want to drive in my car right now to New York, there's certain towns I might not want to stop in. But for the most part, I can make it. 90% chance, unless I get hit in a bad car accident, I'm going to get there, right? What I'm saying is that we're asking white folks to give us something they can't give us, which is inertia. Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? That's why I need us to, like, black people, we watch TV and listen to people project on how bad, how good life. We have no historical context, how things work. We don't even understand how the human existence works and how we even come together. Like when a group of people says there's no women, there's no men, but they here because of I'm confused. Everybody has the right to be whatever the fuck they want. Watch this. Watch, I'm gonna show you where I'm going with this. I like trans people. I think they're cool. I think somebody don't want to be a man or woman, that's cool. If you don't identify as a man or woman, cool. But you can't demonize it. Doesn't make any sense. Because you're here to demonize. You're here because of that energy that gives you the right to demonize it. So what I'm saying, okay, so a lot of these ideas that's being thrown at us, they're not thought out. They're more emotional response to unfairness. Once we sit back and go, oh shit, if we want freedom, we got to move like we want freedom. Otherwise, we will never have freedom. Another man can afford it. If anybody in this room decided they don't want to eat, they don't want to pay for none more of their food and let Nana pay for it, how long you think you're going to eat well? You'd be like, man, I am so tired of Happy Meals. Hey, I got to spend my money on myself, man. Keep going.
What starts out as avoiding a small but difficult conversation quickly grows into avoiding a large and seemingly impossible one.
That's why I jump on top of a conversation right away. Discomfort with clients, discomfort with coworkers. Mashama, who I love, like deeply, like I don't like when he tells me he loves me because I start crying. I don't want everybody to see me cry. I'm too gangster for that shit. But he's one of the few dudes in this world can say something to me. I'll be like, whoa, okay, dude, I'm around other people. Not around other people, it's just uncomfortable. So I love him deeply, like beyond your imagination. Tennille will tell you in a second, I call him in a second, but like, I disagree, I'm just wrong. Because I don't let shit escalate, so then it starts to cause damage in our relationships. I tell you right away. right? Or even if I don't tell you right away, sometimes I gotta wait for the timing. Like, okay, as soon as they stop hyperventilating, I'm telling this motherfucker. And if you continue to hyperventilate, I'm like, okay, I gotta go home. I ain't got time to wait for this shit. But as soon as you hyperventilate and you come in and be like, it's such a wonderful day, I'm like, yeah, by the way, you've been fucking up a lot last week. Like, I can't wait to get it, because if I don't tell you right away, I'm gonna build up residue, and before you know it, I might cause damage to our relationship. So it's important for me just to speak what? Candid. That's where candid comes from. Non-candid communication within the office creates a toxic office. That's why defensive culture is the foundation of a toxic environment, because all the elephants in the room of what we didn't say, now when it does come out, it disrupts the whole company. It can even stop production. You see how cold this shit is? Like these books we give you are the foundation, but once you learn them, you can see all these ways you can unlock strategies and have all these different areas of impact. Keep going.
The weight of what we avoid eventually affects our relationship.
What? The weight of what?
What we avoid eventually
you see
affects
that?
our relationship.
Avoidance is not a healthy thing. It sounds so innocent. Like, oh, the innocent lamb just wants to avoid the wolf. No. The wolf got you. You about to die. You got to come up with some strategy, baby. Face that fucking wolf. Keep going.
Groups create inertia of their own.
There you go. Come on.
They tend to value consistency over effectiveness.
Oh, that's the key word, Japasua. They value consistency over effectiveness. Keep going.
And reward people for maintaining the status quo.
Oh, your regular ass employees begin the same credibility as your strong employees, and you wonder why your strong employees are deteriorating to the zone of average. My mentor told me a long time, do not subsidize failure, because you destroy those who are greater. Keep going.
Inertia makes deviating from group norms difficult.
So when you join a group and a group sucks, you wonder why you suck so bad? Because of inertia. Go ahead.
The threat of standing out in a negative way too often keeps people in line.
So the fear of being negative. Remember I told you negative is defensive? I mean, if negative is positive, and yet the avoidance of negative being positive all the time is actually defensive. So trying to avoid negativity creates inertia for you, because in the end, you're trying to protect this invisible of what you should be, ultimately putting yourself in a position where you're doing things you don't want to do. Keep going.
The threat of standing out.
As a result.
Oh, yeah. As a result, group dynamics end up favoring people who don't deviate from the defaults.
So in order for you to grow within groups, so think about the group you belong to. I don't care how, like, let's say you have a toxic ass family and you're trying to raise your value in that family. You realize the inertia of that means that you will never live a life that you want. You live in a life that fits their toxic behavior. We're going to continue to talk about inertia, because inertia is a code. It's a norm. It's an invisible energy that's directing our feelings and our emotions that have low return on what we desire. And if you don't get this inertia thing, and you try to become a leader and you don't see inertia, you will be a kind leader who continues to lose your position because you didn't see how inertia overtook you. Time and time again. I have no loyalty to nothing. If it doesn't work in the interest of it being effective and moving the ball forward, having greater impact, a healthy lifestyle for myself. Yes, I'll be like, I go out there and I have to kill myself. I'm like, I won't. Nurse says, if you tell you this, just give you a reference in these next 2 weeks, and look for that podcast. I'm gonna make sure I'll get it to them tonight so I can get it to you tomorrow. Danielle, if you get out to tomorrow, please, Danielle, I promise with candy on top, if you could just do this for me tomorrow. Okay, so anyway, that was just a special message to Danielle. Just, wrap it, unfold it, decode it, please. Okay. You ever had road rage? Inertia. That's inertia. Y'all remember how strong that road rage felt? It doesn't just exist on the road, people. It's all in your life, everywhere. And you can't even tell anymore because you put language around it to change the meaning of it. And because nobody can fuck you up, or you're not driving the fastest car, you don't recognize it, right? But there's so much inertia in your life. Just the same fight that you have to go to resist road rage. Because I feel road rage, like something happened for me. I'd be like, motherfucker. Then I tell myself, wait a minute. Was he really thinking about me? Was he really trying to hurt me? How do I know this person's not running to the hospital? How do you know what the fuck's happening on? I literally have to talk myself down to my inertia every time. I'm talking about every time, right? And not use fear. Like, oh, if I go jump on him, what if he has a gun? No, I'm not using that. That's just too soft for me. What I tell myself is, why are you projecting a story onto this person and making yourself a victim? Right? Which then causes my inertia starts to slowly calm down. You got to move through your whole life seeing those inertia points and then realize the reason you're not a strategist because inertia is your strategy. Meaning that outside things are causing you, controlling what you do, not you. That's why you'll sit in this class, read these books, and have the greatest strategy in your mind, what you want to do. And next week, your life feels exactly the same because you responded to inertia. That shit cold, right? All right, as they say in Kuwait, stay cool, y'all.